Okay, let's get started.
Just raise your glasses high. This one's
Amy Riley. Oh, it never gets old, right?
Never.
Singing your name, screaming your name, saying it like a beautiful, whatever that was, choir.
Are we going to do that forever?
I think it's time, maybe after the Bravo drought, let's workshop some new ideas.
Taglines.
Poems, taglines, wake up little turtle cuties. It's your, it's mother and father turtle, or, just anything like that. But I'm still happy, still happy with it. But once it stops sparking joy, we'll move forward.
Do you feel like the Housewives taglines have really been like going down the drain these days?
Oh, I think I actually felt the opposite.
About the OC ones?
Oh, I haven't thought about those yet. I haven't processed. Are they bad? I haven't heard them yet.
I feel like I immediately was like, what the hell are these? But I think I need to revisit.
Shannon's was like, the storms are coming, so batten down the hatches because here comes the biggest storm of my life. But then I sent you Emily's, and it was like, I'm used to asking questions as a lawyer, and now I ask questions
for fun.
And I was like,
or something.
I don't know about that, but I do like Melissa's on New Jersey.
What is it?
She was like, why would I wait to burn a bridge when I'm already on fire every day of my life or something?
Yeah.
I was like,
it's hard not to burn bridges when you're on fire.
Yeah, I love that. I love the really poetic, literary ones. But if they're like referencing their, like Emily's is horrendous, but I don't think they write them.
No. I think they read a bunch and they don't get to choose.
Yeah.
Like maybe they could pitch if they want, but they don't get to ultimately choose.
Remember when Teresa's was like, there's only two things that don't come out of a tablecloth: wine and blood. Do you remember that? Teresa had one about blood. It was like, blood is thicker than water, and I'm all out, and I'm thirsty for blood or something. It was so wild. I'll look that one up. But so I think it's just as much of a, I don't want to say crapshoot. I think it's just as much of a what's that called? Sometimes I hear the best one of my life, and then I hear the worst one right back to back. I think it's like
the odds are still the same.
50-50.
Yeah.
But you're saying that you think that overall they're shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just like sort of like disenchanted with the concept. That might just be a sign of my outlook in general.
Oh, you're not feeling good in general about life?
I'm like, not impressed.
Just with anything.
No.
I'm like that. I feel like I could, sometimes the glass starts to look really half.
The things that once brought joy no longer spark.
Yes. For sure. For sure. And there's some stuff, obviously going on in the world, but I'm trying to find joy. Anything that I'm like sparks even the littlest bit of joy, like OC last week.
Yeah.
I'm like latching onto that, where I'm like, oh, this is fun to talk about.
Yeah.
And Jersey, watching it, like you said, just back to back, not the full pressure on it. I was like, Jersey is good enough for me. I'm having fun with this. I was excited.
Yeah. Like even I watched, this week's Solo, and I was like, watching Solo not as fun as watching 3 or 4.
When we just did this, you mean?
Yeah, like I watched the new one this week, whereas the previous 3 I'd watched in a row.
Right.
I was like, I really do prefer to watch them in a row.
I know. Is it just better in general to binge shows?
It's the new way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much more fun.
Gosh, I've been binging that Dallas Cowboys cheerleader show, and binging is just fun. And then we were just talking about, because Ryan Serhant was on Watch What Happens After OC tonight, I binged his show on Netflix in like 2 or 3 sessions, and I feel like normally I would be like, this is dumb, like I hate Selling Sunset, I think it's crap, but this one I really just got into.
Oh, good. So you watched the full thing?
Yeah. It was like 10 episodes, I think.
Oh, wow. And so what is it trying to be, like a new version of Selling Sunset, but in New York?
Yeah, but it's not, what's his name? What's the guy that does Selling Sunset that did like The Hills and...
Yeah, I don't know what
whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't vibe with that. The ethos of the way they make shows.
Yeah,
like,
I really didn't like Selling Sunset either.
it's just
at
like
all.
ridiculous, which this is also like fake as fuck, like for sure. But it's a World of Wonder production.
Oh.
And I just really like Ryan Serhant because I've been watching, I was already telling you this before, but I watched $1 Million Listing like the entire time he was on, and I watched his wedding special. His wife is Greek, so they got married in Greece, so it was like abroad, which was
Whoa.
fun.
Mauricio's in Greece.
Oh my God, with his lover.
Yeah.
Who is she?
We don't know yet.
That was staged, right?
People are saying it was just someone at the airport.
Just excited to meet him.
Yeah, but I think no. I don't think we know. You thought it was staged?
I mean, who was that taking just photos of them kissing?
I think, if you're a passenger and you just get to Mykonos and then you knew Mauricio was on your flight because you saw him listening to music or something, like in a row next to you, maybe right when you got off, you run into those seats. You know what I'm talking about?
They were like, the photographer appeared to be right in front of them.
I know. I think that person, whoever it was, I don't know who it was, but they probably were like, Mauricio's on my flight. I want to see who greets him in Mykonos. So they ran to where those seats are, where they could sit, and they immediately grabbed the shot of her coming in. Don't you think?
You know who I saw when I got off my last flight? At the baggage claim.
When did you go on a flight? Oh,
2 weeks
back
ago.
Back from Paris
Yeah.
in Europe. Who'd you see?
Harvey Keitel. He
Really?
was looking for his bag, same as me,
No way.
with his cart. He was wearing a white linen suit.
How did he look?
Good.
I love Harvey Keitel.
He looked like Harvey Keitel. Like, I was like, I'm positive that's him.
He was wearing a white suit? Like the opposite of what he wore in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Or
Reservoir Dogs.
Right. He wears like a bunch of suits and that stuff. He was wearing a white suit and he was by himself getting his luggage?
Yeah.
And
And
he
it was
waited this long to tell me?
it was scary because
You
it was a
started
shit
screaming.
show at baggage claim, and there was a bag that had fallen off the belt and was split open with all the clothes falling out.
Really?
And I was like, I hope I'm not here when whoever's
Yeah.
bag that is finds it, because it'll be too heartbreaking.
Harvey's.
And I was like, he started approaching. I was like, holy shit, what if it's his?
Oh my God. It's a bunch of black suits from Reservoir Dogs. He's got that same briefcase that Samuel L. Jackson has in it.
And I never did see whose bag it was.
Was he pissed when he saw that?
He looked at it and I was like, fuck, is it his? Like, I was watching and then he kept looking.
He was just alone?
Yeah,
Stars are just like us.
I know. I was like, he has the little smart card and everything.
That is amazing. Oh, I love Harvey Keitel. I would have flipped out.
I've seen him before.
Where?
The Tower Bar.
I want to go to the Tower Bar. You've done everything I want to do. You went to Europe. You go to the Tower Bar. You saw Harvey Keitel in a white suit. What were you saying right before I interrupted about Mauricio in Greece? You said Ryan.
Oh, just he got married in Greece, and it was fun because I love wedding specials. And anyways, we were just talking about, I wonder what the background is behind why he left Bravo to do this new show at Netflix, and Andy's happy to promote it. He's been on multiple times talking about it.
Okay. Well, so maybe it's the same development person that has been trying to steal away Bravo talent for the last 2 years. Like the person that got, speaking of Mauricio,
Yeah.
the person was like, Mauricio would love a spinoff on Netflix. Let's offer him $50 million.
Right.
And Mauricio goes, I have to take this.
Yeah.
And then maybe they're like watching $1 Million Listing being like, that talent on that show, he doesn't get the spotlight, even though I think he's amazing. Let's steal siphon off some Bravo
Yeah.
talent. And Andy is diplomatic and nice enough to be like, I have hundreds of these shows, so you're not really stealing from me that much. And he's proud of Ryan
Yeah.
for getting that much money.
Yeah, I was just saying, I forgot about the Mauricio show because he is giving Mauricio 2.0 because he split off from a big agency and started his own, and now is like a celebrity realtor.
I hate to always bring up Willy Wonka, but it's exactly like Slugworth when Willy Wonka is going around, like I'm saying Andy is Willy Wonka, and he's giving all the golden chocolates to all the Bravo celebrities, and then Slugworth is there going like, come on over to Slugworth Enterprises or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? It's like they're stealing talent from Bravo.
I know
because
we've covered this before, but doesn't Slugworth end up working for
in this
Wonka?
analogy, it stops towards the end. You can't watch the last 20 minutes.
Well, I
'cause
told
Slugworth
you
was
in the
secret.
new one,
He's
he's
I know.
just a regular,
It doesn't
like
make-
it stands as he's like just an enemy.
They're waiting until the sequel to that prequel to be like, how does Slugworth get back on Wonka's side? But anyway,
Can we show your daughter the new Wonka like the second she's born?
I think that's going to be when she's 18. I'm going to say,
It's triple X.
I'm going to say you have your first choice of any content you want. Finally now, do you want to watch Wonka from 18 years ago?
2024.
Yeah.
What's the math on that? What year will that be?
Oh my God, I don't even
That's
want to think
sicko.
about.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it either.
Yeah, but I don't know about Wonka. Yeah. If she says to me,
2042.
Daddy.
Oh.
2042. If she goes, Daddy, I'm finally ready to watch that Wonka movie that you forbade me from watching because you were so.
It's like
you're so strict with
Footloose.
your content.
You're like, you will not watch Wonka, and she's like, Daddy.
and then
I
I
just
watch
want to
it.
watch Wonka.
I'm-
She becomes a Wonka freak
I'm
because
60 years old, and I go, fine, I'll watch this piece of shit movie, and I get floored by it. I'm like, this is one of the best movies. Why did I wait so long? Anyway,
single tear.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
We
but
have-
I wanted to segue really quick. I got one quick detour.
Okay.
When I said Andy is proud of Ryan, that guy that I don't know him very well. You
Okay.
know him, right? What's his last name? Sirhan? I got a good impression of him from Watch What Happens Live. I liked him. I think he
He's
seemed
very
nice.
likable.
But also, speaking of Andy Cohen being, what's that? Very happy for people even outside of the Bravo tent. I sent you that video of him on Sirius XM when
Yeah.
Hannah Berner was on, I don't know, Howard Stern or
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell she was doing. But Andy Cohen was getting ready to record his Sirius XM shit, I think.
Yeah.
And then Andy came in and Hannah was like blown away by Andy. She was like, this is the man of my life. I love this person. And she was like, Andy had so much faith in me that he put me on this chat show that I've never heard of before.
She was like, he gave me my first talk show, and I was like, oh, did he recommend her to Fallon or something? And then they showed it, and it was COVID, basically Watch What Happens Live, where they had TVs on top of the chairs, and I was like, that's what she's so grateful for.
Well, still, I mean, coming out of the Summer House universe, you get the opportunity to branch off. I know what you mean. It definitely when you.
I was
when-
like, just like what my expectation was when she said it, and then the visual
It's
of
like-
what they showed, I was like, oh, that sucks.
It was like you thought it was like Craig Ferguson opening
Yeah.
for what were those shows called? They were like After. They don't even have those anymore.
Oh, right.
Late.
Yeah.
You thought it was gonna be something like that.
Yeah.
But I just liked though that Andy. It seemed like there was absolutely no bad blood. Like
No, he was proud of her.
He was so
And
happy.
another talent. Well, I guess you wouldn't say it was lost to Netflix because Bravo doesn't do comedy specials, but she's Netflix talent now.
Lost to Netflix philosophically.
Yeah.
Netflix is where she's shining now. But I just like seeing that whatever happened at Summer House, whatever the hell happened there, didn't have anything to do with Andy. He's been championing
Yeah.
Hannah from afar, and Hannah still likes Andy. That was really fun to see.
Yeah.
I like that. But anyway, we weren't even going to talk about that. I thought it was a good segue.
No, yeah. That's interesting. I feel like Andy's having a good time despite the turmoil of recent.
I feel like he escaped that unscathed completely. That shit is like no one's talking about that Brandy
Oh, yeah.
lawsuit.
I have a perfect transition.
Go for it.
When Bethany tried to take him down and
Yes.
Bravo down, she used Mark Garagos, the lawyer.
She did?
And now he's representing Rachel Leviss, and his brother, Matt Garagos,
Yes.
up until today, was representing Sandoval, who we learned this week was countersuing Ariana, because my understanding is that Rachel sued Ariana and Tom for
Yes.
revenge porn.
Yep.
Then Tom's lawyer, according to him, apparently he says he misunderstood or it wasn't
Yeah.
clarified,
Right.
was doing like a countersuit against Ariana, basically to say that she wasn't authorized to access
Yeah.
the contents of his phone, which like I don't understand quite how that.
You spread the criminality thin. So it's like all of the onus was on Tom Sandoval. Like he's the criminal.
Yeah.
If you start suing a bunch of other people, then
It's like Spider-Man pointing at himself.
I'm kind of being a little silly, but I think it's like, spreading a big thing of jelly on a piece of toast and you spread it really thin on a bunch of different lawsuits because it's called a cross complaint. And it was
Yeah.
sort of like, hey, look at what this other person did. Sue them too.
Right. Which, from what I've read amongst the comments, that's like fairly common. Like
Cross complaints?
Yeah.
I had never heard of it. I was learning a lot of new stuff this week, but I had
I
never
was
heard
just
of it.
saying that we learned so much about law and real estate and taxes from the folly of these Bravo celebrities.
Right.
Like, there's a new headline constantly, like Jackson Brittany have a lien on their house as of today. And so then we were all like looking into like what like the California Franchise Tax Board lien looks like and like what that means if they were audited. Like, I was like, I love all these little areas we are brought into.
Yeah, we're definitely in some areas now. But so Matt Garagos, like you were saying, he goes, Tom, we got to spread some of this lawsuit around. But he goes, this is just called a cross complaint. So sign this thing. This is perfect. You're going to love this. And Tom goes, whatever you say, Matt Garagos.
It was like on a scroll with a quill.
It said cross complaint lawsuit, but Matt put a piece of tape over lawsuit. So Sandoval didn't see that it said that. And then Tom Sandoval goes, whatever, I'll sign the shit out of this thing as long as it's spreading the criminality around to a bunch of other people. And then he said the tape fell off of the lawsuit when he found out that he was technically suing Ariana. And that's when he fired the shit out of Matt Garagos.
He said
and
he's no longer on my team, which we talked about this earlier. We've been texting up a storm trying to understand what the fuck is going on. Rachel and Tom's lawyers are brothers.
And they're twins, identical twins. So we don't even know whether or not one of them is pretending to be the other to
Crazy
make the-
twins shenanigans.
Yeah, like I was saying this in our text thread, so not to quote myself, but what if Mark disguised himself as Matt and then made Tom Sandoval sign a piece of paper that then was good for his client,
He wore
Rachel
a
Levitt?
mustache.
I don't think twins, I hate to say this, I don't think two twin lawyers should be allowed to have the practice together because who the hell knows who you're signing shit for? You know what I'm
It's
talking
like
about?
a full parent trap.
Yeah, absolutely. And they don't even have to identify themselves. Was that Mark or Matt? I just think that this whole thing is so it's so.
Where did you confirm they're twins?
I looked it up.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But they're at different firms,
No,
even
I
though
thought it was called Garagos
No,
and Garagos.
it's called that, but Matt isn't one of the listed attorneys at Garagos and Garagos.
So-
He's at a different firm.
So Mark is Garagos and Garagos, just
Yes.
to make the illusion that you might have his twin brother coming around,
and
then
Mark is the alpha who, if you look at his wiki, he's represented literally everyone of all time. Like he's the one that Bethany hired.
I think I saw Hunter Biden in his repertoire.
Michael Jackson, Scott Peterson.
He got Scott Peterson off.
He's in jail.
Oh, these Garagos brothers are everywhere, and they're in. So
Where's their spinoff?
Tom had to fight. That would be a good show. The Garagos brothers.
He also represented Winona Ryder.
Holy shit! So they've got their fingers in the pies of every celebrity lawsuit in Los Angeles. So Tom Sandoval kind of was like, "I'm firing this guy, Matt."
Yeah, he was like, "You're the shitty Garagos. Get out of my face."
He wanted Mark, but then Mark had a conflict.
Yes,
Do
exactly.
you believe in that thing where like all the you can't get a lawyer that if Tom Sandoval went in to speak to Mark, and then Mark's like,
The
"I'm
Marriage
sorry, but
Story plotline.
Yeah.
Which, remember, Ryan Serhant is in, I think, When We Were Young. He has a cameo.
Doing what?
He plays like a agent or something.
That's my least favorite Bomback film.
I don't really remember it. I just remember there's fedoras and like bike riding.
It's about a couple that's my age, 38, that
right.
start to meet 25-year-olds, and the 25-year-olds are cool and free
Oh,
and
yeah.
hip and fun. So it makes Ben Stiller and Naomi Watts sort of self-conscious and want to be young again.
Yeah.
But then she kisses Adam Driver, and
Yeah, they realize actually young people suck.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess, though. It was after Francis Ha and
Hmm.
Noah Baumbach wanted to capitalize on that freewheeling, fun youth stuff, probably because he was hanging out with a bunch of young people on Francis
Yeah.
Ha.
Like, it's like Greenberg vibes.
Yes, but Greenberg, I think Greenberg was
But
wonderful.
like similar sentiment of like being like, I can hang with the kids, and then being like, oh, this sucks. You guys make me sick.
Totally. But this was a sillier, more comedy version
Yeah.
of that, which Greenberg had already touched upon that beautiful
Yeah.
storyline. So, wait, so Mark Garagos and
Oh,
Matt...
he also represented Chris Brown during the Rihanna era.
So they've almost represented every single...
Jussie Smollett.
Whoa, what happened? Oh,
You remember?
of course. I don't remember what the final. I think Jussie had to. He didn't get him off, right?
I've seen Jussie recently
Where? What was he doing?
at the gym.
Which? Can you
I'll
tell
tell
me?
you offline.
Wow,
I don't want to
you
dox
are-
him.
I have not seen a celebrity in the
I
last
also
year.
saw Alana Haim at the gym.
Whoa, what? Gym
Maybe
is
she's
this?
getting ripped for a new Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Oh my God! If she's in that new movie, that untitled Thomas Pynchon movie that Paul Thomas Anderson is doing, wow, you're really seeing celebrities. That
I
is
have a good
awesome.
eye.
Oh my God, you're like Mark Garagos in terms of
I
celebrities.
told you I saw Maria Bello in Marseille.
You didn't tell me that. And
I
who is
didn't?
Maria Bello? Let me look. Can I look them
Yeah.
up?
She's in Prisoners.
I've only seen that once in theaters. Let me see
You would
Maria
recognize
Bello.
her. She's in stuff.
What's she in that I would know? Grown Ups. I never saw that. Oh, History of Violence. She's the wife.
There you go.
Oh, I love that. I like that movie.
We were at this pizza place in Marseille that had a bunch of framed pictures of actors on the wall, including Matt Damon, because famously they filmed Stillwater in Marseille.
Oh, what was Stillwater about again?
It's like Amanda Knox vibes, but his daughter is Abigail Breslin, who's in jail in Marseille for accused of murder.
So it's like a real life Taken if it was about the legal system.
Yeah. But anyways, it was great pizza, by the way. They were like, "Where are you guys from?" And we were like, "LA, Hollywood."
Oh my
and
God.
they were like, she's from Hollywood."
No way.
And he went over to her and pointed at us, and she waved to us, and we waved back. And I was like, "That's fucking Maria Bello."
That is so cool that he thought you'd be united with a celebrity because
And
you're all
then-
from Los Angeles.
And then at the end of her meal, they were taking a photo with him. And then he came over and he was like, "She's an actress." And I was like, "I know."
Wow. Do you think you could have hung out with her?
Yeah, she recently married a French woman, I think. So she's like in France,
Wow.
which is chill.
You have seen so many celebrities. Oh my God, I can't even think of the last one. Harvey Keitel you saw. Oh my God. Okay, so what do we so we
Okay.
didn't really talk about how Tom.
Okay, so we just got the information about how he's now claiming that he didn't understand that he was suing Ariana, and now he's saying he's dropping it. He has no animosity towards her.
But then people say, why the hell did Victoria and Tom go dark that day? Did the news come out and then they knew that the backlash was going to be so bad that they didn't want to deal with it for a day because they knew it was a lawsuit, and now they're like, because the reaction was so bad, Tom is like, I'm firing Matt Garagos effective immediately? Or why did they go dark on
Was it like
Instagram?
they immediately were getting like such massive response that they had to go offline?
Yeah, maybe the news came out, it was starting to bubble out, the hate was too powerful for them to
Schwartz
even deal with.
deleted his birthday post.
He did? Mm-hmm. Schwartz deleted his birthday post to Tom Sandoval?
Mm-hmm. I saw that on like
'Cause-
Twitter, and then I double checked.
Wow, because he goes, I don't care what the hell you guys think about this guy. Can we give him a little
Send him
bit
a
of
little love.
And people go, absolutely not.
Fuck you. And Schwartz and Sandy's posted last night a photo of the people that work there, and they're like, "These are the real people that work at Schwartz and Sandy's. Please be kind."
Oh my God.
And one of the people was Max,
Max, the other one?
the one that Katie fucked.
He works at Schwartz and Sandy's?
That's my question.
What the hell is going on? Oh my God. What was so wild to me is that like there was 3 weeks of no news. Like when you were seeing Maria Bello and like having a time of your life, there was no news. And then when you came back, oh my God, the Garagos boys. Hub Cub. What the, all this shit is going, like I can't even believe it. But,
So I thought before he made this statement, which I actually do believe that he's such a moron that
I
he
believe it too.
didn't understand what the fuck he was doing, because I'm like, I don't think from a PR perspective or a public opinion perspective, he didn't. I can't imagine that he would want to do something that would put him back at zero.
no, it had, no. Yeah, absolutely. Like he knew if that was what he was trying to do with a lawsuit, that he would never be redeemed ever
No.
again.
No.
So I believe this cross complaint shit is sort of enough for me to be like, I don't know what the hell a cross complaint is. If you see that and you hear that from Matt Garagos and you're like, I trust my lawyer.
Right.
Possibly.
Like you would, if it wasn't Ariana if it was just like a random lawsuit, it like wouldn't matter, but it came across so pointed and
Yeah.
like horrific that he's just totally fucked.
Yeah.
But like until he made that statement, I was like, is he on drugs?
Me too.
Like I was like, I mean, I think you saw it by this point. He did go live on Instagram at like 3 or 4 in the morning,
saw
and someone
those.
recorded it on TikTok. And Victoria's wearing like a blonde polyester wig,
It was
and they're
giving-
all like fucked up.
It
and
was
like,
giving like Natural Born Killers, even though I've only seen that movie once. But they were like, Johnny J's in the chat. Johnny, what do you want to say to Victoria? And,
Yeah.
and Johnny J was like, Victoria looks good. And Tom was going, I know she looks good.
people
I
were
dropped my
saying-
phone. I was like, oh God, Tom, no.
people were saying this is like maybe a bit much, but that it was like Amber Heard and Johnny Depp vibes.
Oh,
like,
I don't- what
just
were
like
they-
House of Horrors, just
Oh
like
my
up
God.
to no good, just like drunk all the time and like
Wait, I was prepared today. If Tom wouldn't have done the cross complaint defense, I would have said, I was completely wrong, and I believe every word of what Billy Lee said about those two, because the 4 a.m. live with the blonde bobs just talking about how drunk they were or whatever, that was really bad. And then this decision, I was like, this is the worst decision he could have ever made. No person in their right mind would have done this strategy.
Yeah.
It's almost like, it almost ends your Vanderpump Rules career.
I
Why would
know.
Ariana, you want Ariana back? If she said, she has every right now to be like, absolutely not. I'm not filming with fucking Tom Sandoval.
Yeah.
Even more so now.
Yeah.
He's suing me.
right.
So
Yeah.
it was a horrible decision. I think this, it obviously, this kind of got the hate meter. You know, if it was like a 8 out of 10 after season 11, that got him back to a 10, almost
Yeah.
fully canceled again. I bet the hate meter now is like, well, let's say it was a 7. It was simmering at a 7. That got him to like a 7.5. I think this gets him out of it a little bit. Don't you think?
I don't think people are going to give him benefit of the doubt just because he's an idiot. But
you,
yeah,
you
it's
do
not.
think that's what happened. Like we
Yeah,
can
I
say.
think he was negligent, and as we discussed, this past season, what did he say? He was like, "I'm not very smart," or whatever.
I was thinking of that too. I go,
Which
oh my God.
also, it's interesting that remember when he goes, people are acting like I'm Scott Peterson, and I'm like, wow, interesting, because Garagos represented Scott Peterson.
But you said Peterson is innocent.
I am open to. I'm just saying the Innocence Project took his case on, and
Whoa.
I think they wouldn't do that unless there was a good reason.
I would work with the Innocence Project.
It's a good thing.
I'm gonna watch.
People are gonna say I'm like an evil person now.
I've wanted to. We've already said it on
Justice for Lacey
I've always wanted to watch that documentary ever since you told me.
on
'cause-
like A&E or whatever.
Yeah, because I swear I can watch an A&E documentary and know how biased it is. Like when what's the person who allegedly killed their daughter
Oh,
to
Casey
go party?
Anthony.
When I watched Casey Anthony's A&E documentary where she blames everyone else, I was like, you are the guiltiest person I've ever seen in my life. Like
Yeah.
I can see through the veneer of
Yeah.
the biased.
Yeah. I feel like we're in a
Propaganda.
new era of like absolute dog shit docs, especially now that Warner Media, like Discovery is all one. Like you'll see something that people are talking about going and thinking like, oh, it's on like Max, like it's like HBO
Yeah.
or like whatever, and then you start it and you're like, oh, it's fucking Discovery. It's like absolute trash.
Yeah, I mean, there's no more true crime. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing, like we just said, the Garagos documentary pretty soon. There's just nothing.
You should
new.
watch Jinx too, though.
Okay, I watched 3 episodes of it, and I kind of liked it.
Okay.
What, is it good?
I really liked it. I thought it was a hoot.
Is it done?
Yeah.
What happened?
He died
When did Robert Durst die?
a few years ago.
He did?
Yeah. He died before they could like arraign him, so it's like not even on his record that he was found guilty.
He never knew. He never went to bed or death knowing he was guilty?
He was found guilty, but since he died before they could like make it official,
Wow.
that like doesn't count, I guess.
That's the dream if you commit a bunch of murders.
He skirted right by.
To die right before. How old was he?
Maybe like 80.
How many people did he kill? 3?
Yeah, Susan Berman, his wife.
His wife.
And then that neighbor, that
Oh,
nosy neighbor.
I hated when he killed the nosy neighbor. That was the worst. Well,
And then he stole that sandwich,
where, from where?
like CVS or something.
Is that why he got busted?
I think that did. Like they had footage of him and they found him.
He's like, I'm hungry. He's kind of like Foxcatcher. You saw that?
Yeah.
They're both rich men.
What a freak.
Rich freaks that said the law is beneath me. I want to test the law, like sort of like the most dangerous game or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like they're too rich to be encumbered by
What
the law.
was the Foxcatcher guy? What was the last name?
He unfortunately
It's
the big tire company or not tires. Let me see.
Not Firestone. It was like
Foxcatcher. We can find it. He was the heir of the DuPont.
yeah, DuPont.
And he's just, unfortunately, he grew up wealthy as hell. And, he didn't have to do anything with his life. So he wanted to take a little dip into, like, training Olympic wrestlers or whatever. And he decided, he unfortunately, I think he killed one of the, they're kind of similar.
Channing or Mark Ruffalo.
He killed Channing.
Spoiler for that movie that came out like 10 years ago.
Yeah. So okay. So you think so? Tom Sandoval. I want to I misspoke. I think he got his hate. He actually did the worst thing he could have done. I think it was simmering hatred that was at a 7, and he caused it to boil a little bit. And like you said, people don't give him the benefit of the doubt, so they think this is the worst case scenario. So he really did something horrible here,
No, like
no matter
people
what
take
happens.
it to the like nth degree where they're like, he's furious that she's thriving on Love Island, so he's suing her.
So
and I'm like, okay.
I was like, how is he going to get some of her money from this? I was like,
Right.
this is the most nefarious version of that, which I know it's like.
But then, fucking out of the woodwork, Chef Penny is suing Katie and Ariana the same day.
Oh my God! I said, what the hell is going on? Did you read the?
Tell us.
Okay, so Chef Penny, she said, okay, so I don't think this is all like very bad legal talk. You and I, what we do. This
We
is
don't
like
understand.
It's basically like two people just saying a bunch of shit.
The blind leading the blind.
Yes, but Chef Penny thought that there was a verbal contract that she was a 10% partner. She, I don't know how much money I don't know if she put any money into it, but she filed that trademark. Her husband filed the something about her, and she had the expectation that she was a 10% partner.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm almost positive I read that she didn't have a written contract.
Nothing in writing.
But she's taking the steps she took legally and whatever financial assistance she gave in the verbal contract to be like.
It seems insane to put in any amount of work without a written contract.
I mean, she definitely went into it, and I don't blame her for thinking that she went into it being like, I'm the Lisa Vanderpump of this, except I get the Tom share and they get the 90%. Like, I do think that she had that vision. But then Katie and Ariana, once they started working with Chef Penny, like Lisa was like threw Chef Penny at them, and Ariana and Katie didn't like working with her and only expected it to be this restaurant and not like she's a permanent fixture of something about her. And then they didn't want to work with her anymore, so they kind of just wrote her off. And now she's hanging on to the original premise and the steps she took in the initial stages to be like, this is representative of the commitment to me that they had.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any legally binding things.
Right. It just seems crazy to like get to the point where, at least what we were shown on the show, she was helping with staffing,
Yes.
like creating the menu. She was in the kitchen. She was doing all this stuff. And I'm like, why would you get that far without a written agreement?
I
Unless,
think.
do you think part of it is like show bullshit where the show wanted a link to the other restaurants to sort of tie it into Vanderpump Row, so they like brought her in as like to help make the whole thing seem more structured, where they're like, we're having a tasting event today, we're having a staffing day, you know what I mean? Because like the only times they had those formal events were with her.
So you're saying Chef Penny was given these roles for the show because it makes this something about her arc seem more legitimate. That they're hiring stuff. Yeah, I think that they stopped wanting to work with Chef Penny and they never signed anything, and Chef Penny had a completely inflated sense of what this was. And I think Chef Penny, I think Lisa and Ken, we should say allegedly for everything, because like now I don't want to get sued by the Garagos boys. But so everything we're saying is alleged. We should like
nothing we say adds up to anything.
Yeah, this
Don't
is all alleged.
believe anything.
But I
we
bet
say.
Lisa and Ken operate on full-blown spit handshakes, and Chef Penny is in that world where it's like word is bond and
London gangsta.
yeah, like Ken's like, we don't need to sign anything. And Lisa says the same thing. It's like, don't you trust me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what.
Do you think? What do you think she's up to? Lisa thinks about all this.
Lisa said that they remember in the extra scene, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
Secrets Revealed. She goes, I don't think Chef Penny knows what she's talking about. She was like, Chef Penny didn't want the sewage to bubble up in the in the kitchen, and like she was on Chef Penny's side.
Yeah.
She really thinks that Ariana and Katie mishandled this with Chef Penny, and she said she felt bad that she recommended Chef Penny to this. So I bet you Chef Penny and Lisa, allegedly, in my mind, are talking about this and talking shit.
Didn't you say that Chef Penny was like, I would never put that sandwich on that bread?
So then, in the Discovery section, I'm almost
Oh my God,
positive.
the Discovery.
Remember when we learned about Discovery when Rachel was allowed to just say her version of Sandoval and we were reading that shit and we were like, what the hell is this? But Penny just left a bunch of shit talking about the bread and the sandwiches in her lawsuit. I'm going to check on this. This is all alleged.
The judge is like, I strike these comments from the record.
Yeah. And then I was going to say they find out that something about her was delivered to the courtroom, so he eats them. They don't know how to cross-utilize, Penny said. I would not bring in 5 different kinds of bread for 10 sandwiches. I also would not put certain sandwiches on certain kinds of bread because the bread to meat ratio is completely off. And I was thinking,
The minutia.
this is in the lawsuit?
She's like, how dare you use that lavash wrap under my name?
Yeah, and then she said, she said that. She goes, I wasn't going to use, is that how you say it, lavash?
Maybe.
I thought it meant I would never have used that type of lavish wrap to wrap.
Yeah,
one of
it
those
was
things.
not a great financial investment. But it is interesting because I feel like they have gotten some comments about their bread. And
being good.
But when
We can't rely on anyone else. You and I ate every sandwich.
it was good. But my comment was when an interviewer asked Katie where they were sourcing her bread, she didn't know.
We said that. You got to know where your bread's from. But
It's all about the bread.
It's all about the bread. Exactly. But I don't care how many bread to meat ratios it takes when you're giving me. I'm not thinking about that back of house stuff. She's trying to think about, this is the advice I gave them, and I want to make
that's
sure
what they came to me for.
Yes, and I want to make sure it's on the record officially that I looked at the Diane Keaton and I'm mad about the bread they use with that type of meat. It seems like a very frivolous, silly lawsuit to me.
I will say, whenever I think about the trials and tribulations of owning a restaurant, I literally cannot fathom ordering down correctly.
Wait.
Like knowing how much you need of everything.
Oh.
Like that's insane.
I would be the kind that it's like I get 100 a day and they sell
You just
out.
run out.
Have you ever gone to Roma sandwiches in Pasadena?
Oh yeah. They run out, right?
He hit this. Oh my God. I'm going to shout out Roma in Pasadena. This guy, Italian man, he's 80 years old. He just makes 70 sandwiches in the morning, puts them all out. And then when they're done, it's like, you can't get them anymore.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to start a restaurant with you. Very similar to the Founder, the original McDonald's. Have you ever seen the Founder?
I only saw that one time at that McDonald's party we went to.
Were you watching it intently?
I was distracted.
It's a really, really good movie.
Michael Keaton.
Oh my God. Yeah, it is so good. I want to start a restaurant like that. Simple, back to the basics. Basically, In-N-Out is what the original McDonald's was supposed to be, and they never would have gone from that model.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did I tell you that also, sideline, I started reading Stassi's first book, or listening to rather.
Yeah.
And she keeps, the premise is like how to embrace your like mega basic self or whatever. And I'm a little confused about like what she considers basic, because at one point she calls In-N-Out basic.
Oh, what?
And it seems like she thinks that anything that's enjoyable
Yeah.
is basic.
Yeah, it's a word that I think, like hipster, it just doesn't mean anything.
She says
anymore.
that too.
Hipster.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she called Bo a hipster. And I was like, we've talked about this. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
She also, almost every other sentence, she says AF.
Yeah. She hangs on to trends and really digs in on them until they're to the point of no return.
Yeah.
So I think she held on to the basic philosophy because she started to pop with that characteristic on Vanderpump Rules, and
Yeah.
they made it her full identity. But I don't think anyone has any shame about anything they do now. Like,
Right.
I watched the Jinx Part 2. I'm basic. It's like,
Right.
who knows? Is that basic? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it like started to like rattle my brain because it was almost like it's like anti-intellectual where she's like, who wants to watch? She literally says, who wants to watch a movie about Daniel Day-Lewis sewing when you could watch The Walking Dead? And I was like, huh?
Shots fired at Phantom Thread?
And I'm like, don't you love fashion? Like, wouldn't you love that movie? Like, what?
And yeah, I mean, and you could argue, one could argue that watching Paul Thomas Anderson and loving him is basic as
Right.
hell. It's like
Yeah.
a basic film take.
Yeah, he's
It's
like one of the top fivers.
universally loved by every person that loves film.
Yeah. And it was just like, she was like, people that don't have TVs and read, like,
Bo.
did he say that?
No, but that's like the hipster characteristic.
Yeah, like, it was just like essentially, I think her premise failed.
Yeah. I think people just got over like being ashamed of any of their tastes. That was
Yeah.
a very hipster, basic, whatever that thing that we were all doing 10 years ago, that's like gone.
Yeah.
Like, people are not ashamed of what they do, and everybody just is proud to do what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She also at one point said she's obsessed with monograms and like monograms everything, which apparently is basic, I guess. And she goes, until I went to Europe and I had a big SS on my jacket, but more on that later. I was like, excuse me?
More on that later.
I was like,
What's
bitch, what?
What's the next chapter? Wow, you got to let me know how it goes there. I don't even want to get into it, but she
I
had
know.
a
I
little-
was like, more to come. Yeah.
Oh, that is it. That is what it's going to be.
Oh,
That's
in the
what she'll-
first book?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's canceled in the first book?
No, but I'm sure
the
that was
second
the
book.
start of it. Yeah, but I don't think I read the second book. I don't think she talks about that.
Oh, okay.
So that is the start.
She also gets into her and Jax going to Jax like did a commercial or like an event or something where he met a Scientology rep.
Wow.
And then he was like, I really think it's
Whoa.
interesting.
Oh my
and
God.
he was like, let's go
He would be
check it
perfect.
out.
Wow.
And she was like, that's like a fucking cult or whatever. But then she was like, let's go and I'll be like, I'll try and poke holes in there. Like she went in with the intention to like fuck with them, but
Yeah.
he was earnestly interested.
Oh.
And then they went and she said that she kept asking the guy about aliens and stuff. And she said that he kept dodging the question.
Yeah.
But then both of them were like convinced enough that they both bought like a workbook. They spent like $100 each.
Stassi got convinced.
They went like to another thing.
Whoa.
And then she said it got like really creepy and weird and then they bounced, but she still has her membership card and like the book and everything.
That's amazing. Well, so they don't know that the Scientologists that are doing the e-readings at like the Church of Scientology or anyone at any Scientology center, they don't know yet. They're not OT4. They've never gotten to the Paul Haggis level where you actually find out that the thing that was spoiled for the entire world is actually what Scientologists believe.
Yeah.
So that person who read them does not know. He gets
Yeah.
to say that is complete bullshit because he doesn't know that that's actually the mythology they believe.
Well, I told you I was born clear.
Me too. Wow.
I like don't need it. I'm good.
No.
I have like no thetans.
I knew that. Oh, absolutely.
That's why we were drawn together to create this magic.
Every thetan that I had that was burdening me was out within a few years. I told you I was born in Clearwater in 1985.
Is that true?
Yeah. I am basically like L. Ron Hubbard. Let's not get into it.
That's amazing. Bless us.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, hey, did we talk about everything? I wanted to say the last bit of news, unless there's something else, was Jax. The people on that crawl that people are doing, I've seen these recaps, which are wonderful. People who are going on the crawl with Schwartz and Jax.
Yeah.
They're going on the crawl, and like it's an opportunity to just like ask every question in the world, I guess. So I saw like recaps of what people are saying, and Jax brought up that he made love to Ramona, and Lala, because she's still in the mix, commenting on Vanderpump Rules. She kind of softly confirmed that Jax and Ramona made love.
It's very upsetting to me.
Did you know that was a possibility?
I remember that rumor. There's also, speaking of Ryan Serhant, there's a rumor that he made out with Sonia, I think,
okay.
which has come up on Watch Happens Live, and he's always like, please don't make me talk about this.
Really?
He's like, no. So I kind of get those confused in my mind.
Okay.
But like he actually fucked Ramona.
I think
I can't even imagine that.
Well, let's. You know what? Are we ending the news? Let's think about it on the certified turtle piss break. Was there anything else to say?
The only thing I
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Just that Paige DeSorbo's entering her cat mom era.
Oh, that is so sweet. I saw it. You showed me a photo of it. It looks
appears
like a cute
to be a
cat.
purebred cat, though, so points down for that.
Oh no, they do that with cats just like dogs.
Yeah, I think it's a rag doll, which they're very cute. But I'm like, let's do a rescue, hun.
Maybe her next one.
Hopefully, I think Sierra has a cat, and Hannah Burner has a cat.
What kind of? It's called a what?
Rag doll.
And is it? It's a kitty.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so sweet. I like that. And Craig,
I forgot about Craig's cat daddy era. I was texting you about it. I forgot that his ex-girlfriend Naomi had that Persian cat named Gizmo that he was obsessed with.
Oh yeah, that's so sweet.
That would like hang out with him when he was like gardening and sewing at home.
Yeah.
And I love that. That was like big points for Craig in early days when he was like still a little bit of a questionable character.
Yeah.
I was like, well, he's a cat daddy, so that's okay.
That's sweet. Good. Well, my last thing that I wanted to say is that Kyle Cook responded to Hannah Burner saying that Truly is what got her fired. And Kyle Cook goes, I am flattered that she thinks I have the power to do that. Bravo doesn't give a shit what I say. That was a full Bravo decision, and that is absolutely not why she was fired. If you want to look into why she was fired, see all the interviews she was doing post season 5 that made the entire house hate her. And he says he still though respects
that Luke
Hannah.
Stuff.
Yeah. He said he still respects Hannah. He said, I texted her when she was one of the 10 comedians to watch. I said, you're fucking killing it. He said he's going to watch her special. And you told me, he said he wishes Hannah was back on the house. So even though Hannah ignited that thing last week that we talked about, saying she thinks it was a Truly sponsorship, Kyle is putting the full tamp down on that story, saying it was Bravo.
He also said while he was DJing that Amanda has a meeting this week to go over her swim line.
Hell fucking yeah. So that means that's going to be on goddamn Summer House this season.
She better be wearing those bikinis come next season. And I still think they need to push up the premiere.
To give us
sooner
Summer House earlier.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
When is it usually? Like March, April?
Oh, when it comes out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When did it come out? March?
It came out like a few weeks after Vanderpump.
And when does Vanderpump come out? January.
Or February?
It was a month after. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So February,
so like probably like March.
I was thinking, last thing before we think about Jackson Ramona, I was thinking a good horror movie would be called The Crawl. And you go on a...
There is a movie called Crawl.
Right, that's
about
the
gator.
Alligator. Yeah. I was thinking The Crawl, where it's like you go on a booze cruise bar crawl with 2 reality stars, and then like something kind of horrific happens. Sort of like... Buffalo Bill and
yeah.
All right.
I just saw Long Legs, which is a ripoff of he's exactly Buffalo Bill. Sorry.
Is Long Legs good?
No.
Oh my God. I got so swayed by the PR campaign for that. I watched Osgood Perkins, whatever the hell that guy's name is. He was
son of Anthony Perkins.
Son of Anthony Perkins, the Psycho Man. And he was talking about, he tried to downplay Silence of the Lambs' influence on it. He goes, that is just so much the text of my film that I don't even want to say that it was an influence on my film.
That's like how Emerald Fennell said that Talented Mr. Ripley was not an influence on fucking Saltburn, which it's a direct ripoff of.
Oh my God. I actually did not like Osgood Perkins in this Letterboxd interview. And I was
he was dissing Ty West left and right.
He also was like saying like, and obviously 7, we kind of like 7, but that also had nothing to do. I actually like My Own Private Idaho way more. It's like,
Shut up.
Talk about not being basic, embracing just embrace the fact that you made a fucking Silence of the Lambs ripoff.
Yeah. No, it's like, if you like squint your eyes, the place where Longlegs lives looks exactly like Buffalo Bill's den. It's even like a workshop.
He like says the 3 movies it's actually based on, but then says that those aren't the movies it's based on. He was really annoying, and I was like, oh, I hope Longlegs is good despite this guy. But you saying it's bad?
It's goofy as hell.
Why are people saying this is the scariest shit you've ever seen in your life?
Is absolutely not.
Oh my God, this is crazy. Wow. On Turtle Time, it's an exclusive. Long Legs mythology was just completely
I talked to
dispelled.
like 5 different people that saw it that were like, that sucked ass.
Me and my friends were going to watch Risky Business, like I told you. And they go, have you seen the Long Legs trailer? And I go, no. And we put it on in the dark in my house. And it was like, the scariest movie since The Exorcist. A demon will infect your body when you watch this. It was like, brrr.
Yeah.
It was like the scariest shit I've ever seen. I
Yeah.
cannot believe that that's all marketing.
It's kind of like the Jaws theory of like it's scary until you show it. Like once you see
and it's Nicolas Cage going,
Nicolas
"Yee!"
Cage being goofy as fuck, you're like, I'm free. I can sleep tonight. Thank you.
Okay, so he ruins it.
It's a little much.
Wow. So Nicolas Cage's bad acting ruins this
It's
guy's
also
first.
the writing is whack.
Damn. Oh my god.
It's unearned. It has an unearned twist. I won't spoil it.
I was proclaiming the death of A24. I was like, if Neon's got this up their sleeves, A24. This seems like such an A24 thing.
The Nosferatu trailer looks fun.
Oh yeah. Oh good. All right, well, let's think about all those films and I'm gonna take a certified turtle piss break and think about that.
Okay.
I cannot believe. When did you see Longlegs?
Last night.
Oh my god, we didn't even talk about that. All right, let's go take a piss. Wow, 50 minutes of news.
Oops.
Amy, we're back.
Hello.
I saw Longlegs in your bathroom.
No.
Is he scary? Or he was kind of scary?
I'll just say, well, I don't want to spoil anything because people will still see it, but yeah, I'm not scared of Longlegs himself.
Okay, so but is it that Nick Cage's kind of goofy, shitty acting, which he's displayed for the last 10 years or 20 years in movies, is it because he flops as this character? Could you pin it on him?
I won't just pin it on him, but I was waiting for like a reveal, like a horrific reveal.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, he looks insane. Like, I don't know if you've seen what he looks like in it, but
Yeah, I saw. It's like he's like this, and people keep saying like, you'll know you've seen long legs when he does this, and they start talking about his fingers or
he's
whatever.
like,
He giggles like
he
that.
has like crazy prosthetics, and he's like super pale. And I don't know. I was just kind of like, I enjoyed myself, you know, like it was like, but it was goofy.
Okay, well, it was not at all. It did not appear at all to be goofy.
Yeah, they
or
didn't
silly.
market it as goofy.
No. Has Nicolas Cage ever been good in anything?
Yeah.
I mean, like Raising Arizona, he's kind of playing a dunce.
Yeah, but that's good. He's good in that.
Yeah,
Moonstruck.
I've never seen that.
It's good.
Okay.
What's Wild at Heart?
Is that a David Lynch movie?
Yeah.
Never seen it, but you can act really bad in a David Lynch movie and get away with it.
It's goofy as well.
Yeah. The National Treasure movies. I mean, those are obviously when
They rock.
is he good in that?
They're also goofy.
You know, he's actually no. What the hell am I talking about? Adaptation. He's an amazing actor.
Oh yeah, he's
in that.
great in that.
Matchstick Men, Family Guy, or I'm sorry, Family Man. Oh, I almost tried to
You
ruin Nicolas
deleted
Cage's.
his greatest hits.
He had an amazing adaptation. He plays those
twins.
two twins.
He should
Speaking
play
of
the
Garagos
Garagos.
boys.
We
That's
should make a fan edit.
Mark and Matt Garagos, portrayed by Nicolas Cage, acting good again for the first time in 20 years.
We'll put it to the like Charlie XCX. They worked it out in their remix
What does that mean in relation to this?
because the Garagoses were feuding
I didn't know that. In this movie they are?
in my world.
Oh, good. Wait, so Matt and Mark finally, they're back. He's playing both of them. And the celebrity clients that they have are cameos of real celebrities. So it has a little bit of that
It's
meta
Catherine
adaptation.
Keener.
What'd you say?
It's Catherine Keener,
Yeah.
John Cusack.
Oh, my God. It fully revitalizes Nick Cage's career.
I like it.
Great. Well, you and I both decided, a verbal agreement, that the OC talk might just be 30 minutes long because I think you and I both agreed this was not a great episode of OC. Kind of a huge downgrade from the premiere, I thought.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, to, overarch the plot line of what appears to be ahead of us this season. It seems like it's just going to be Gina furious at Jen Pedranti, which honestly is kind of bumming me out because I feel like she's like, I'm not the poor one anymore. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, so fuck off, poor people. You can't afford to pay your house. Why don't you work harder and feed your fucking kids? Like, Gina, God damn it. Could you be off the mark more? get the hell out of this house. The landlords are coming. It is the
Yeah.
worst.
She's like, you had a contract with the lord of the land, you
Yeah.
peasant.
Yeah, get the hell out of that house. There's people who could pay for it to get in there. Feed your kids. It's like, Gina, I know you wanted a storyline. You needed it so bad. This was the storyline. When Shannon says, Tamara's kicking me while I'm down, or whoever says that, talk about being kicked while you're fucking down. Jen is like miserable.
Yeah.
Her life is like in shambles, and Gina wants to have the alternate storyline saying like, you deserve it. You should have looked at the contract.
Yeah. It's so bummer that like Jen left her husband, the father of her kids, and it ended. I mean, it's not over yet, but like it went so poorly. Like usually I feel like when someone does something like that, you're like, wow, like that takes such strength to be like, I want out of this marriage. It's like not working for me. Like I want a new life. And it's like her new life is bad.
I know. Normally when you cheat with someone at the gym, it's like it unlocks the full new good world. Jen unfortunately had the worst cheating you can do, where you were with this guy. Oh, who knows? I mean, it seemed like he was nice. Jen's
her ex.
Jen's ex.
Yeah.
Like she had the family, she had that, but then she saw Ryan, and he's like buff as hell.
He's wearing denim vest.
And he's like, I do mortgages. And she's like, oh my God, I want to cheat on my husband so bad. I hope this works out good.
At Cut Fitness.
Yeah, and it worked out like you just said. Bad. It's the worst case scenario for cheating. I'd say Tom Sandoval, and then this.
Number one worst case.
It is so sad, but I still feel bad for her. It's like,
I know, she's a tragic figure for sure.
This is a tragic, sad storyline, and so anyone that is going to be on the opposing end of this, it just happens to be Gina, who I don't have a lot of goodwill towards anyway.
Yeah,
it's like worst case scenario for Gina, because if this is how she's going to continue to act the entire season, it's horrendous.
Yeah. It looked like on Watch What Happens Live, the viewers are on Gina's side. So
yeah, and we said right before, Ryan Serrant said Gina should have done due diligence with a friend. Friends don't let friends get evicted. She should have made you do the credit check, told you what this would have been like on your finances, because she actually gave you the golden ticket to go into this house, and then you didn't have the finances to back it up. But I know we're going to have a lot of landlords listening who
they're a big pocket of our listenership.
I don't want to upset the landlord fan base who are going to say, get her ass out of there and get a paying customer in that spot. But I just think it's not very it's hard to root for Gina's side on this one.
Yeah.
Especially when you watch the scenes that I think the most beautiful scene, or powerful and sad, was when Jen is talking about how her life is in shambles and how appreciative she is for her dad and how much he's been able to help her and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like beautiful and sad and like
yeah,
endearing.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the angle of being like, bitch, like I am brand new at this job and you made me look bad. Like that's real.
Does it make you look bad?
I mean, I don't know who far and wide is hearing about your rental agreement.
Mark my words, whatever agent story that Gina tried to add to the next, complete fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
That is a lie. Whatever agent she said didn't text her back.
I'm also like, you're the one that's spreading this far and wide. Like,
yeah.
No one would have heard about it.
Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. You're the one telling this story all over the OC.
She's like, I was trying to make a huge deal that would have, the profit would have been 50 grand and they wouldn't even call me back because of you. And I'm like, maybe they just think you're a joke.
Yeah. And Gina says the dreaded words. You're taking food out of my children's mouths. Which is like,
can't argue with that.
No, you can't. You and I could have been taking money out of the Garagos' children's mouths by talking badly about them being horrible lawyers, allegedly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't say this, but Jimmy and our friend Mariana know Garagoses. Like they like went to either like school or college with
Garagos dynasty.
Yeah.
Who?
Like
their kids?
Yeah. Like I was on two different threads and they were both like, oh, I like grew up with so-and-so Garagos. And I was like, how do I know two people?
So they're like Los Angeles legends,
I guess.
Oh my God. I want to know more. And I want to write with you that film that we're talking about, the Garagos dynasty.
It's the new Sandoval
Yeah, it's right after
screenplay.
Yeah, it's right after that one. Okay,
Okay, cool.
so you said the through line. That's a major through line. And what is the other one? Shannon sort of reckoning with her relationship with Tamra for the most part. That's kind of like the major things that are going on.
Yeah. It's like, so it immediately starts where the last one left off with like ending on the Alexis Shannon shit. And Heather's trying to play both sides. And Alexis is like, it's hard for me to be around Johnny J's ex too. And then I guess it's revealed that Tamra did reach out to Shannon after it became public knowledge.
Yes. So last week, Shannon said no one reached out to me when Johnny J and Alexis got together. And then there's proof on the screen that Tamra said, it must be horrible to see Johnny J and Alexis and all these photos together. And Shannon goes, yes, but I'm excited to have Christmas soon. Merry Christmas. And then we find out that even though Tamra did reach out and say those words, like, this must be hard, Tamra, on photos of Alexis and Johnny J smiling his ass off, Tamra was putting clapping applause emojis and saying, what did she write? This is great.
It was like, go girl or some shit. And then Shannon texted her back and was like, you would never see me posting applause emojis.
Yeah.
And Tamra said, grow the fuck up. So I guess they've been having text feud for a while before this.
Yeah, and Tamra says, which is another through line, that Shannon really, really talked shit about her behind her back. But Tamra saying that is so ridiculous. I mean, Tamra has talked shit. That's all she does.
Yeah.
Is talk shit about every single person in the world.
Yeah.
So why would that be the hill to die on for her and the ruining of her friendship? I mean, no one does that more than Tamra.
Totally. Then for some reason, Jen brings up her eviction to Katie. That's her name, the new
she
addition.
goes, I got to talk to Gina pretty soon because I got fucking evicted out of Gina's house that she got for me.
She was
Do you
like,
think I should talk to
"Whoa."
her now? Katie goes, who are you? You're one of the cast members?
Yeah. And then they show a clip of all her kids, which we were shocked. Her oldest son is 17. She has a 17-year-old, 14, 12, and 10. And they're all like, Mommy, are we going to have to move again?
Yeah.
I just want to have one home. I don't want
And
to
she
have to
goes-
keep moving around.
That was a dead-on impression of her 12-year-old daughter. And then the oldest boy, Dawson, I think he goes, do we have to live at Ryan's for much longer? Is it permanent? And Jen goes, I'm hoping it's permanent. It made me so sad.
I know, poor kids. They've been through hell.
These kids. Why can't they don't want to live with their dad? Or she doesn't want them to live with their dad.
Well, he's not local.
Oh, right. So they would have to move.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there are some options. As sad as I get, going to Oklahoma, moving back isn't death.
She's created this lifestyle. There's no
Yeah.
going back.
Well, I mean, and the hope is that her appearing on this show, if she continues to bring,
Yeah.
presence as a cast member, that she would become, she would make money. But
Yeah.
right now, that's not.
I think
the
I
case.
saw this week that it was released how much child support and alimony she's getting from her ex. And it was like pretty minimal. It was
really?
like $6,000 a month or something, which like to me, that's a lot. But for 4 kids in Newport Beach, that's a joke.
$6,000 total.
I think so.
Oh my God. So then Ryan, he did say, all of you children come live with me at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that, and we found out on Watch What Happens Live, that's still the case,
Yeah.
living with Ryan.
Which
So,
they showed his house and it's like a McMansion.
yeah, we
like,
got to know more about
What the hell?
Yeah.
It's all that Shohei money.
Did you want to talk about that question booth that Heather was running? Are we there yet?
Yeah. So it was weird. It's like what would usually have money in it. It was questions to be answered.
And Gina was like, Jen should go in that money booth and never leave it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she needs money. And then Emily was like, yeah, she really needs money. She needs to pay off her car and her rent. And so Emily is kind of doubling down on the Gina storyline and making a meal of it herself too, to like talk shit about Jen, like
Yeah.
reinforcing Gina's indefensible position.
It just seems so weird to like choose to shit on someone for that when like I would understand if it was someone who was so keeping up with the Joneses, if they were just like so full of shit that you're like pay your fucking bills. Like, you're fake as hell. But I don't feel like she's like, I know that everyone seems to think she's living out of her means, which she is, but like, it just feels like they're attacking her unnecessarily.
Yeah.
When I'm like, I don't know, she's just kind of like trying to survive. Like, am I giving her too much credit? I don't know.
No, you're not. I mean, she's trying her best. Obviously, she doesn't want her kids to be doing this.
Like, it'd be one thing if you were like Kim Zolciak, who like refuses to be honest about the fact that she's broke and just like is obsessed with like driving a Rolls Royce and having like designer shit and like just talks about it like unlimited. Where if you were around her, you'd be like, please get real.
Totally. It's a completely different situation because Kim also actively gambles her money away or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I wanted to say, like, when Emily's like wrong, Emily is like so wrong. Like, she is, I think she's a great cast member and she's so funny and I love her beautiful relationship with Shane, but she has positions that I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like the Archie stand-up comedy last week and then just being so callous towards Jen.
Yeah.
Like, I know you guys are on a show and you need to make storylines, but do you really think that it's good to talk about how much money Jen owes after you know her family of 5 is being evicted from their house and you don't know where she's living? They're like, is she living in her car?
Yeah. Especially because I'm pretty sure Shane's parents are rich as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I know she makes a living herself, but I'm like, you guys have never had to worry for a second.
We forgot to mention that when Alexis comes back in, she's kind of heated because she hasn't been in a Real Housewives scene in a long time. So she's kind of all like fired up. And she screams at Heather's party. She goes, I will no longer be squelched. And you and I looked at each other and we go, squelched? And then I looked it up because I thought that maybe she did a what's that called? She said the wrong word.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's a perfect word for that. It means forcefully unsilenced or something. Forcefully silenced.
Yeah. I feel like I normally wouldn't think to use it as like a verbal, like I feel like you would say squelch a fire.
You would say that normally?
All the time.
I never said it.
I could be wrong, but yeah, it came off as strange when she said it.
Yeah.
And then they rolled a clip of her being squelched by Jim Bellino, and he goes, when you married me, we became one flesh biblically. And I was like, holy shit, I forgot how scary he is.
Yeah. He goes, do you mind if I squelch for a second?
Allegedly, because we know he listens to podcasts.
Oh my God. We do not want Jim Bellino coming for us. Could you imagine?
I would never squelch him.
Garagos are like rubbing their hands together. They're like, I've been meaning to get that podcast.
Oh my God, they have their ear to my door right now.
So then the party fizzles. Part 1 was so much better of the Heather party.
Yeah.
I do want to take a knock at Gina again because she does the comedy of making fun of Heather's parties.
Oh yeah.
And no one has gotten the note that that's over and it's played out. And Emily did that. And Emily was the last person that should ever do that. It was really lame when Emily did it, when she said, I'm eating sand.
Yeah.
And she was like spitting up her food or whatever. Gina keeps making fun of the amuse-bouche or whatever. Going, why can't we have bread? It's so small. I guess we're not eating this year. It's like, shut up.
It's like your party would suck ass. It would be like Red Solo Cups, bitch.
Why? Like, did you think that you were watching Emily put seaweed out of her mouth and spit it up, and you were like, that was so funny last season. I'm going to do the same shit at Heather's party.
Yeah, it was whack. We also, I just wanted to say that Alexis at one point goes, whatever storm Shannon wants to create, she needs to find a new tornado. And I'm like, you can't just keep
referencing,
vibing off of her tagline.
Yeah, your only quips
Bedore
towards
and storm
her are her famous catchphrases.
Yeah.
She's like, I know the storm is coming and you're going to create a tornado, but this is the one house that the tornado won't blow away. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, what? Why do you keep using her signature catchphrases against her like that?
Yeah.
She's
like,
a fan.
Come up with your own fucking material.
She's an absolute Shannon
it's
fan.
Giving, what's her name on RHONJ, or the Ultimate Girls Trip, Kristen Takeman.
Yes. Oh, right. When she knew the legacy of Roni better than they did. They talk about it in the preview upcoming. They say that she's single white femaling Shannon because she has the same dog.
I know. She got an Archie 2.0.
Yeah. And then they say, is this when they say Johnny J's teeth? Because. Oh, no. I'm sorry.
This is, everyone goes over their, they get their card in the booth, and Alexis says that her friendship goal is ending animosity with Shannon. Tamara says that she wants less friends that talk shit behind her back. And somehow Heather gets a question that's just like, what's your favorite piece of jewelry? And she's like, my original engagement ring. I love it. And then that leads to Alexis bringing up her promised with a D ring from Johnny J. And she says, they go, oh my God, do you think you're going to marry him? And she goes, mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they go, it's been 2 months. And she's like, I know, but we're on track to get married, I think.
And she says a promised ring is different than a promise ring, but she doesn't say how.
Yeah. How would it be?
I have no idea.
And so, and then also they keep like showing scenes from this dinner, and apparently Alexis was like unhinged a little bit, and like they keep showing flashbacks throughout the entire episode. And like at one point, Alexis was like, Johnny J and I had sex 2 times this morning.
Yeah.
Like rubbing
with
it in.
Shannon there.
Yeah. Horrible.
And at this point during the promised ring conversation, Shannon gets up to walk away and go to the bathroom or just leave the room. Tamara follows her, seemingly not to provide comfort, but to start a conversation. They're just going back and forth, and Shannon's like, Tamara says that she was talking shit about her, and then it's minutia about the tour, and that Shannon's like, yeah, I said you were hard to schedule around the tour, like you were being a diva or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, I don't want to talk about this here. Let's like go sit down somewhere else at another time. And Tamara's like, I don't want to sit down with you. You're not a good person.
Wow.
I'm just like, all right, like, why do they keep trying to salvage this friendship? Like, I feel like it's such a waste of time. Like, why does Shannon think the outcome is ever going to be different?
I don't know. But I mean, how long have Tamara and Shannon been friends? A long time, right?
Yeah.
I just think that Tamara used this opportunity to have a potent storyline to be anti-Shannon for the first time because she knew it would be of note to watch. I don't think she has any actual grievance or moral issue with what Shannon did, because anything that Shannon's ever done in her life, Tamara has done 10 times worse.
Who was Shannon's original beef with when she loses her mind at that party at Lizzie's house when she's like, you will all know the truth?
I don't remember.
Who was that against? And that's when Heather's like, should we call 911?
Oh, right. I remember that. Yeah. So, yeah, Tamara's like, I'm not going to, we're not going to be better. And she's kind of justifying for the rest of the episode, like, why she no longer wants to be friends with Shannon.
Yeah. We get a quick fake house showing with Gina. And I just have to say, she's wearing literal Herman Munster shoes. Like, Luann would be gagged. Like, she'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah, what would Luann have thought?
She was clomping around. I was just like, those are nuts.
What was that point? What was the point of that?
It was just to be like, that's her job. Do you believe us? And then we get Shannon, Katie, and Jen on a beach walk. And I think Jen says, like, what's going on with Johnny J? He looks like he's aging in reverse, like Benjamin Button. And Shannon goes, I think it's just because when he was with me, he wasn't smiling because he didn't like his teeth. But recently he got new teeth, and so he's smiling all the time. And that's why he's smiling, not because of his new girlfriend. He's smiling because he likes his new teeth.
So he's showing off these new chompers that he got, and that's why he's smiling big, where in photos with Shannon, he always had a pursed grimace
Frown.
or pursed half smile. But so if they're all wondering why the hell he's smiling ear to ear with Alexis, and then Jen goes, maybe it's because Jesus Jugs is cute as hell and he loves having sex with her, and that's why he's smiling so big. But that was in her confessional.
Yeah.
Katie uses this opportunity to drop a seed that she's going to start a feud with Heather, an unwarranted feud,
right?
Because Katie says Heather wasn't nice to me when I met her one time. It's like, okay,
who gives
how
a
long
shit?
are we gonna?
Yeah.
How long will that run for?
Yeah. Also, it comes up like a little bit later, but Gina brings up that she has always resented Johnny J because they roll the clip of him being like, fuck Gina, who the fuck does she think he is?
Fuck. He goes, fuck Gina, fuck her.
Yeah, and she's like, that made me so uncomfortable that he would talk about me that way or whatever. And Shannon goes, yeah, he hadn't eaten that night. Like, she's still defending him.
Yeah, she did a post-breakup defense.
He hadn't eaten.
Like, and you admit now, Johnny J was a piece of shit, but she still has to defend the moment when he got hangry, and that's why he cursed Gina.
I know. I was like, that's crazy. But anyways, okay, so we get a little bit of background on Katie. Apparently, her and her husband met as golf reporters.
I think so.
Didn't see that coming.
Me neither. They were both doing the same PGA coverage or whatever. And I think, yeah, they met, right?
Yeah, they showed them in the field. They showed her on the field with a microphone. She's like, she wanted to originally be a newscaster, but then she ended up doing sports and golf.
And she had three children before him, right?
Yeah. One is 19 years old, which I was like completely shocked by.
Yeah, me too.
Apparently she had her daughter on her 20th birthday. And she has, with her current husband, she has a 6-year-old named Bandon. Like right. Brandon without the R.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
There's a city in Oregon named Bandon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wanted to save it for, I wasn't going to say it out loud. But yeah, there's a city by the sea.
Do you think he's named after that?
Yes. It's a beautiful coastal town in Oregon. It's beautiful. So I think he's named after that.
That would be good. I hope it's based on something.
Yeah. Did you like Katie's appearance?
I mean, so far she hasn't said anything too enticing, but I am a little intrigued by her family dynamic in that her 14-year-old son lives in San Diego with who we don't know, and her 17-year-old lives in San Diego, like alone, ? And her 14-year-old son lives in Atlanta with his dad. So I'm like, her kids live all over the country.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the tea?
Yeah, she should have. Yeah, maybe she could have explained that a little bit. Yeah, jury's still out for me. There were some moments that I was like, I don't love some of these stuff. Like when she was like, my only exercise is sex with my husband. It's like, I've heard that before.
Yeah, and they showed her husband. I'm like, yeah, you guys are radiating sex.
Well, yeah, I mean, he asked. He was like, can we go have sex right now? Did you see that scene?
He's like, Bandon, get out of here.
Yeah, and I don't like the Heather thing that I know she's going to do. I know you have to come in, I guess, with a storyline, but I'm just like, she could surprise me for sure. But as of now, I'm like, I didn't see the full spark. I mean, the family life is definitely interesting, but she's also kind of ham-handedly added to the cast.
Yeah.
Gina should have had 5 more scenes with Katie where she brought her along and then the group got to know her. But right now she's with Shannon and Jen and they have no idea who she is.
Right.
They didn't even say, do you want to go on a walk in OC on the beach so we can meet each other? They didn't even do that scene for us.
Do you think that Heather or Sutton is richer?
Heather or Sutton? Heather.
You do?
Heather.
It's hard to say.
Sutton. Well, Sutton, what's the guy? Sutton's husband worked for like BlackRock or something, right? Yeah,
something like too foul to even name. Like,
it's like they
it's definitely unethical.
BlackRock. BlackRock. What was that? What's that Ronan Farrow company that they
Oh yeah,
chase journalists and they like call them from burner phones and threaten them off stories. Yeah, it was what's that called?
Isn't it BlackRock?
No, that's not BlackRock. Oh. BlackRock is like whatever.
Doesn't Nick Kroll's dad own BlackRock?
I think so. We've talked about Nepo baby comedians. BlackRock is an investment management company. Oh, okay. There's another one called like Black Box, and it's like my name is Black. Yeah, Black Cube.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's Cube. And they call you and they go, stop reporting that New Yorker story, Ronan.
It's when you start getting the long legs phone calls.
Yeah.
Where it's like...
Or they call you and they go...
The Mothman phone calls.
Oh my God, so scary. So he works for Black Cube. I think... This is a great question. I actually think Sutton, now that I'm really thinking about that, I think Sutton's husband... The money he gives to Sutton is more than what Heather and Terry have combined. But that's a great...
Yeah, but she also has family money, so it's like
Heather
double
does?
Rich. Sutton does.
Oh, Sutton's probably richer. We'd probably just be stunned.
It's like old money.
Yeah, we'd be
Whereas
stunned.
like Heather and Terry
are
like
scraping it together.
Scrappy new money, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah,
but...
I think you're right. Sutton for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Katie. I mean, we got a glimpse into Katie's life. I'm not gonna make any like strong decisions on her yet. I don't know enough.
I like that. Jen just seems to be unafraid of what information she's putting out to Katie, because I'm like, you're not like watching your back at all. She immediately met her, told her she was getting evicted. Then on the beach, Katie goes, what does Ryan do for a living? And Jen goes, nothing right now. He used to do mortgage for 1 million years. Then he did real estate development. But yeah, he has no office. He just sits around and plays in the sunshine. He's living the dream, I always say. And I'm like, huh?
Me too. You and I looked at each other and I said, what the hell does Ryan do?
You
She
moved
said he
4
does.
kids into his McMansion and he doesn't have a job?
I mean, do you think they don't explain? Bravo editors don't explain, or Bravo producers don't explain. So we have this mystery of this being a sketchy person, because with 2 sentences, couldn't she explain? Like he has wealth from the
Right.
time when he dabbled in real estate development.
Right. Like, I don't understand why she would put it that way. Like, she could be like he's like lives off his investments, or like
she puts it in the most skeptical, or what's that called? Yeah, she puts it in the worst way to promote people to have theories of what the hell he's doing. We know he's working with Otani, we said, right?
yeah, but we don't know that yet.
Right.
Like on the show.
Right.
Yeah, so then the girls, Emily, Gina, and Shannon go to play flag football. They're practicing to get ready for the next episode, which I'm like, we're already doing bullshit like this on episode 2.
And usually you don't have like the lead up for something for an event that you're going to see in another episode. It's like, wow, we're really placing a lot of screwed, like eyes on this event that we're
They're
about
like,
to see.
Shannon, I hate to tell you, but we did invite Alexis to go mini golfing with us.
Right. Yeah, right. And it's like, yes, like
Why?
right. So yeah, it was an extra event.
Yeah.
I did like the scene where Shannon does, after they kind of have the goofy edit of them being silly and playing flag football. I did like when Shannon, this felt very real to me. And it was when Shannon opened up to Gina about how, now that she knows what Gina was going through, she absolutely apologizes for how she acted. And it's, and I thought that she's upset. And then Gina really, it seems, takes that apology to heart and loves it and says, you're working through it. Like, this is like, you're going to get through this and everything. And I really appreciate you saying that. And it's I actually think maybe this could last.
I hope so, but I have a feeling it won't.
Who would start to fuck it up at this point? Gina. So Gina will start to talk shit about Shannon in some way, and Shannon will hear it.
Yeah, because Tamara's going to start poisoning the well, being like, she's still drinking. She's lying about her like recovery or whatever. And then Gina's going to be like, her life is a joke.
I could imagine that. It was so heartfelt to me, and I really responded to it, the crying, and I felt Shannon's sincerity, that I was like, this could last for a season. It was almost giving that much of an emotional catharsis. But you're right, with Tamara in the mix, spreading who God knows what kind of lies, it might not be long for this world. But in this moment, I was like, that was my second favorite scene. That sweet sort of bonding between Gina and Shannon. Yeah.
We got a quick second part of the Deadpool and Wolverine
You and I
spawn.
high-fived, and you and I basically said, we're seeing Deadpool versus Wolverine. I said, I'll dress up like Deadpool, you be Wolverine. And this was part 2 of the storyline. Has a plot. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds sent them letters, and he goes, just so you know, thanks for your help writing Deadpool versus Wolverine. And they go, what the hell is Ryan Reynolds talking about? Flashback to, he's calling this guy Kevin on the phone. You know what I'm talking about? Kevin is a producer, big time Hollywood hotshot. Ryan doesn't know the plot of Deadpool versus Wolverine at all.
Is it Kevin Feige?
Totally. I didn't even think about that. I was like, what producer is named Kevin in the Marvel universe? It's Kevin Feige. And he goes, yeah, sorry, the script is so long, Kevin Feige, I can barely even tell you on the phone. It's 300 pages. And you hear Kevin go, wow, that's a long script. Normally they're 100 and... how long? 120.
You should know.
100. Wait, they're 90 minutes. What's 90?
What's per page?
A minute per page?
Is that right? I've never written a screenplay. I don't know.
Oh my God. 120, I think.
Okay.
But anyway, he goes, it's 300 pages. Kevin goes, well, can you tell me a little bit about it? And then Ryan looks at the screen and he's watching Real Housewives, and he's watching the drama between Heather and Shannon play out, and he goes, "It's about a complex relationship between friends that ultimately warms your heart." And he's talking about the Shannon and Heather relationship.
Yeah, but nothing that he says, he never specifically mentions anything about Bravo or Shannon or Heather. So we're pretty sure that this format is being used across many properties.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think he filmed that same scene, but the commentary he's offering about what he learned from the programming is original. But then
why wouldn't they make it more specific?
No, he did. I thought it was kind of specific to what you could, a high level way of framing what you're watching, like watching the Real Housewives and saying
but it would have been so much more satisfying if he named names.
No, because he's trying to apply it to Kevin Feige to make it seem applicable to the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
So
I just think that if you watched a different network, that they put a different clip on the TV and it's the same.
No, I swear, Amy, I've never felt more right in this. I bet Little Turtle Cuties and Villa Rosa VIPs, if you've seen a different version of this, I bet he has different commentary for different shows. House of the Dragon. I bet there's one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they don't have ads.
If you work at the agency that wrote or produced this Spawn, let us know.
Yeah, I think I think he has original commentary, and screenplays are traditionally 95 to 125 pages long.
Okay. Damn, is that movie that long? That's 300 pages?
He was
being facetious?
He was being a little silly with Kevin Feige.
Okay. Okay, then we get to Tamara and Eddie riding their hogs.
Hell's Angels.
To a roadside roadhouse.
They stroll up to this saloon, sort of looking like two badasses, and they go, "What's the best thing on the menu?" And they go, "Cheeseburgers and Reubens." And so they both get those. And then Tamara lets us know Eddie is fully Big Bear brained. He wants to live in Big Bear every minute of his life.
Yeah.
And she goes, "I love Big Bear, don't get me wrong, but I need the hustle and bustle of the OC, and then I want to wind down in Big Bear. I can't be all Big Bear headed like Eddie."
Yeah. I will say, I don't want to get political, but the only place that has more you-know-who flags than the OC is Big Bear.
So, all right, well, I don't know.
The scariest place on earth.
Big Bear?
After dark.
Ooh, I don't even want to think about that. That's where, what's his name goes, right?
Longlegs.
No, well, Longlegs definitely isn't Big Bear, but Zach.
Oh, yeah.
You remember?
With the dark
check-in. So Eddie is so Big Bear, like he is just like, Tamara goes, she's like showing pictures of Big Bear, and he goes, "God damn, I want to go back there so bad." She's like, "Hold your horses. I got a show to film in the OC."
Yeah, she shows, apparently her granddaughter is 9 years old.
Ryan's daughter.
I would have guessed like 5, maybe.
Well, we were saying when we saw Jen's kids last year, I thought they were all 11, and they were like 17 and 16.
What the fuck is going on?
So then Tamara says, "Just so you know, Shannon shit is really bad." She's like, "She talked about my behind my back. She's really shitty." And then Eddie's like, "She's not your problem. Don't get sad." And Tamara's like, "I realize that I've been so angry because Shannon's been in my life," or what the hell does she say?
Yeah, she's just like saying that she's like lying to everyone else about her drinking and stuff, and like it's not good.
Yeah.
And then she talks shit about Jen's eviction and is like, she needs to get off her ass. Like, I've been there and I got off my ass and made money or whatever, which I'm like, I mean, I feel like Tamara's down and out era and divorce coincided perfectly with her making very good money on the Housewives. But
yeah,
I was like, I feel like it would be a fun storyline if Jen got her real estate license and rivaled Gina.
So good.
Because that's like always the post-divorce handbook is like the women, like Tamara always had her real estate license. Gina had her real estate license. It's kind of like a classic Housewives position.
Yeah. Well, if Jen can get to the 3-season mark and get out of there, 3 season is really the make or break. 3 seasons on the Bravo franchise. If she can get past that, she'll start making good money on this. So it's like the future of wealth is coming for her. You just got to deal with this like first season blues or second season blues.
Yeah. So then we go to Ryan's McMansion. Jen's dad is in town, aka Papa.
Papa and I think it was
Mimi?
Mimi.
Yeah.
Oh, this scene was so sad.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a scene like this in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in town to support her and make the kids feel at home in their new house. And Mimi tries to put a dish in the dishwasher, and the guidebook and like the plastic is still inside. And he says he's lived there for 6 years.
Yeah, so I have to say, has he either never used a dishwasher, A,
Yeah.
is he lying, B, or C, did he just get a beautiful brand new dishwasher because he knows he's got a family of 6 coming in and they're going to be doing a lot of dishes? Which one is it?
I know. I was like, they would just leave out if he just happened to get a new dishwasher, like, because that's not as funny. But the alternative is he eats a lot of takeout.
Totally, but
Paper
still
plates.
But still, to keep that dishwasher safe paperwork in it, that is like, I mean, you open it once and you know that's in it.
Yeah.
So someone has to tell us, Ryan,
Yeah,
when
what
did
do
you
you
get
guys
that
think?
dishwasher? And I did like the timing of that, where right when she was opening it, he goes 6 years, and she sees that plastic piece in there, and then it gets sad as hell. Jen, when she sees what's his name, Daddy.
Papa.
and
Mimi.
Mimi, she goes, Dad, I'm 46 years old and I couldn't do this without you. I love you so much. This has been so hard, but you've done everything for me. I love you so much. And she's just like praising her dad, like so much for his help throughout this horrible, horrible time. And it's so real and vulnerable.
Apparently he had to like buy out her lease.
Yeah. And the dad is just like, I love you. I love you. I will do this like for you, like he's just being sweet, and he's also, he's on camera and it's like uncomfortable, that amount of like love, but you can see that he just loves his daughter and will do anything for her. And he goes, but just don't make me pick up all the dog shit. And then you see there's 50 piles of dog shit in Ryan's backyard.
Yeah, get it together, you guys.
God damn.
It's giving Ariana and Sandoval's litter box.
It really was. She goes, you saved me, Dad, and I love you so much. And he goes, please don't make me clean up that shit. And that was an emotional scene, and it really makes you feel bad for Jen, and it makes Emily and Gina seem even more evil.
Yeah.
And Tamra.
Yeah. Then we get a sit down with Shannon and Heather, and they're kind of talking about, like, Heather says she over the past year has talked to Alexis more than Shannon.
We're already at this scene? Mm-hmm. God, you and I are ripping through it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Not that much happened, honestly.
Yeah.
And then they're going back and forth, and Heather goes, I just want to know, did you, Shannon, tell Tamra going into the reunion that you wanted to take me down?
Yes.
Which I feel like has happened on almost every season of every city of all time, that people always get caught saying, let's take her down.
Yeah, it happened on Jersey. And I believe fully that Tamra and Shannon conspire to bring Heather down, because that was the full season arc, was trying to talk shit about Heather and bring her down. So for sure they said that. And then Heather goes, Heather says, why didn't you trust me or believe me that I kept your secrets of you and I wasn't talking shit about you and Johnny J? And Shannon goes, because Tamra told me all the evil shit you were saying about me. And she's like, I mean, honestly, she's implying that why would you ever believe Tamra?
Right.
Like, in my mind, Heather has been a good friend to Shannon, and I don't see her talking shit about people behind their backs and treating people badly. Who does that? That's Tamra.
Yeah, everyone's case was weak last season about what she had done wrong. It was like confusing.
Totally. So I feel like Shannon, it's kind of ridiculous for Shannon to be like, I don't know who to believe. I'm just going to dip my toe in the water of Heather and see if I eventually trust her. It's like, you don't know who to believe between Heather and Tamra. Right. You're actively fighting with Tamra now.
Right.
You know what a liar she is.
I know.
And a shitty person she is. So that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. It's more about how Shannon is like navigating with the group and getting back in all of their good graces.
Right. Then we go over to the deck, which you said you've been to.
I love the deck. It's right in like Dana Point or something. I've been there. It's beautiful.
It looks great. It's Katie, Gina, and Emily. Gina orders a sugar-free Red Bull, which seems to be her thing, which I think is just a weird thing to order like at a restaurant. Am I wrong about that?
I said this last week. I find alternative things to drink now, and a ice cold or hot Red Bull doesn't sound too bad to me on
It's
a
just giving
hot...
like gas station purchase, not like a like beautiful deck side oceanfront beverage.
Yeah, you're right. I don't see it ordered a lot. But to me, if I wasn't drinking, which I know Gina isn't, getting a little pick me up like that, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to shout out in Stassi's book, which was what, like 2015 or something like that.
Yeah.
She shouts out espresso martinis.
Whoa.
And I'm like, I think she was ahead of her time.
Yeah, for sure. That
Yeah.
was like what? Did you say 5 or 6 years ago? Even longer?
More.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says she likes to go to the bar at Neiman's in Beverly Hills and get drunk on espresso martinis and go shopping.
God.
I was like, that sounds awesome.
That is so cool. Does she think that's basic?
I think so.
Oh my God.
Everything's basic according to her.
Wow.
Okay. Then Katie brings up Jen's move because that's just going to come up 30 times this episode. And Gina gets so furious
Because Katie's like, said, Jen doesn't really like that you're telling everyone
you're
how
breaking
the
your
details
agent-client privilege.
that you're telling the details of how she was evicted and where she's living and how mad you are or whatever. And Gina's like, if she's gonna make this about my job, then fuck her or whatever.
She says, if Jen comes for my career, I'll fuck her up. And I'm like, she's coming for your career?
Yeah, I don't know. Gina is so happy that she has a storyline that she thinks is relevant and a big deal or whatever, that she's trying to make the most of it. And so she's milking it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
And doubling down and also being overly dramatic about it.
She keeps saying that, like, she's like, I didn't tell everyone about her eviction. I found out on Instagram, and they showed the Instagram story, and Jen's like packing boxes, and she was like, time to move. She wasn't like eviction
Eviction
day.
Eviction day. Guess who helped me get in this place? at Gina Kirsch.
She was like, moving's a pain. And she was
Yeah.
like, I learned on Instagram. I'm like, what?
She's
Anyways.
she has the one piece of the thing that she wants to say, and for it to be her storyline, and she keeps adding extra content and pieces to make it bigger than what it is.
She seems like she's convincing herself.
Yes.
Like she's actually really mad.
Yeah, and then that translates to
The next scene.
the final scene, Gina and Jen. And at the start of this scene, Jen does not know how mad Gina is at her, because Gina doesn't know that Jen just knows that Gina didn't respond to a text message. She doesn't know how much this has been worked up in Gina's mind, that she's preparing for a full-blown showdown with Gina at this point.
Yeah. So Gina's pissed off the second she sees Jen, because she's like, I can tell she got full glam. Her clothes look nice and new. And I'm like, well, yeah, she is on TV.
Yeah, let her. Like, remember, it was so sad when they were making fun of Jen for wearing like off-brand fake designer shit. Do you remember that last season?
Yeah.
They were like, what's that? Like Louis, it was like called Louis Vuitton or whatever. And it was like, they were all making fun of her. It's like, she's not rich like you.
Yeah.
But she's trying to.
Also, Gina's not rich, so. Like,
I know. So it's just, I think all of this stuff just seems overly mean.
Yeah.
You know?
And then, so she's like, you need to pay your rent. Like, why do you still get your hair done? Why do you still get extensions? You need to pay your rent. And then Jen has a win in her confessional, and she goes, Gina, just because my life is falling apart doesn't mean my hair has to fall apart like yours did. And the editors put up a photo of Gina's fucked up tracks. Like, her hair looks absolutely garbage. And I was like, whoa, they threw her to the wolves on that one.
But what was the context for that scene? Because it was so haphazardly done that I was like,
there was like a whole thing about her hair being fucked up, I feel like.
okay. So she was just out on the town.
She was just like a hot mess.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was good. Jen got something in the confession there.
Yeah. And then they're just going back and forth. Jen is just like, this is outrageous. Like, I can't believe you're doing this or whatever. And then Gina's like, basically turns to the producer and goes, I'm not going to do this if she's not going to talk. Like, this is a waste of my time, and storms off and basically breaks the fourth wall, as if like she's saying this scene is a waste of my time.
Unearned.
Yeah.
Fourth wall break. You
No.
couldn't just sit there and listen to her
I know. I'm
fight
like, you have
against you.
so much going on
Yeah.
the show that you can't handle this one-on-one.
It's gonna affect my business as a realtor too much to where like if she talks shit about that on camera, it's gonna ruin my career. It's like this was not that at all. Also, she's delivering such low blows, talking about how Jen needs to focus on her kids, as if that's not the one thing Jen is most likely thinking about every single day of her life to try to make better.
She broke the bro code. Like, she also has a bunch of kids that she's trying to keep alive. Like, why would you say that?
Yeah. She's kissing up and kicking down. Kissing up to Shannon and kicking down at Jen. Really very bad. Like, did you really think that this was going to be a good route for her storyline this season?
She's like, I discovered the one thing I already knew about her today, and that's that she is stupid.
Yeah, she ends on
and I'm like,
stupid.
Outside of your knowledge of Hammurabi's code, I don't think you're the brightest bulb.
Wow.
Honey.
Oh my God. Yeah, I didn't like that either. Calling Jen stupid?
Yeah, it just sucked. I was like, I don't like you enough to like care or like support this tirade.
Yeah, I think you got your first storyline that was given to you and you're flopping like a fish with it.
Yeah. And then, we got a preview of next week that Alexis has a single white female golden retriever and Sutton will make an appearance next week.
Wow. Okay, well, good. I hope it's a little better than this episode. I mean, I'm still riding high, but, that was a huge downfall after the premiere, I thought.
Yeah. But I think it'll be a good season.
I think so, too. There's a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Shannon's still killing it, and she's still fun.
Well, it's interesting that Sutton's going to be on next week because Dorinda made a brief appearance on Jersey. So there's a lot of like commingling happening.
I love that too. Can we take a quick little pause and then talk about what the hell we think about New Jersey?
Let's do it.
Okay. We're back. Oh,
Hi.
Hey.
I was distracted. Didn't have my microphone.
Can we do a peek behind the curtain and say that it's 9 p.m. on a Thursday night?
Yeah, we have to do for the dogs are barking because Bravo, we love them, but continue to not give us screeners, so we have to watch Orange County in real time.
We love them. I will say, I think that if we ever do get screeners, which I'm not saying we ever will, but if we ever did, like that would be a huge thing for us and for Turtle Time and just for life
itself. It'd be a
itself.
real boon.
That would be like, you and I'd be like, that's like the next huge hurdle, like the aspirational goal.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Not to get into the weeds, but
Yeah.
Thursday, airing new shows on Thursday is a real hurdle for us.
Yeah, but we're here. It's 9 o'clock. It's kind of nice. I like being here late. Thank you for letting me be at your house late like this.
You know I'm a night owl anyway.
Yeah, it is scary though.
Long legs.
Because your hallway, you didn't say this, but your light's not working in your hallway, so I had to take a certified turtle piss in the dark. And when I turned on a little flash of the light, I think I saw, a little scary long legs in there.
Legs saw you in night vision, like Silence of the Lambs.
Oh my God, exactly like that. But let's talk about instead of long legs again. I think I wanted to just catch up on Jersey so that you and I can be ready to be a part of the Jersey conversation. If this is the last season of this iteration of Jersey, like I want to be ready for when that finale dinner happens. That's apparently going to ruin this franchise and break it apart and never let it come back from that.
Yeah, what are they saying? They're trying to say it was a viewing party gone wrong or something?
Really? I thought it was a dinner where they had them all together. It was a viewing party?
I read that somewhere, but I get confused.
A viewing party to watch what?
I don't know. The premiere?
Whoa, they were all at a premiere party? Well,
I don't know.
Okay, well what I thought that they had this dinner with Teresa and Melissa, and whatever comes to light this season, it's too much for them to ever come back from, either a physical altercation or Louis digging up dirt on someone. Like I assumed it's to the fault of Teresa and Louis, and that someone on the cast says, I can no longer be on a show with this person because they went too far. And Teresa's already gone pretty close to too far. I mean, Louis calling Margaret's son or whatever the hell that was.
Oh, right. I found this headline from People Mag from, what's today? I think it was yesterday.
Whoa.
It says, inside the Real Housewives of New Jersey season 14, quote, reunion taping filmed without Andy Cohen. It says People has exclusive details about the July 15th shoot, which saw the reality stars react to the bombshell finale in real time. So I guess they taped them watching that finale.
Andy wasn't
dinner.
there?
It's weird.
Oh, maybe that's just they're going to use that footage and they're going to combine it for the final episode. So they're going to use the footage that we see plus their reactions and then make it an all-in-one special.
Right.
And then I guess, I don't know if Andy would need to be involved with any of those if they're not having a traditional reunion.
Right. We saw on someone called into Andy's show and was like, it's time for a reboot, right? Like, we need to just do what you did with New York and start over. And Andy, I was kind of surprised he said this. He was like, there have been so many fucking leaks from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Kind of implying Teresa
And Jen.
Yeah. That like basically the entire concept of the show is ruined by the fact that there's so many leaks and like PR lawyer things that it's just like, it's like worthless.
Yeah. So like drinking was the downfall of RHONJ and like leaks and lawyer shit is the downfall of New Jersey.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like it just got to the place where the bloggers and the fans are like too a part of the fabric of Jersey and they can't get out of it. And I think the implication is that Jen Aiden leaked the thing about her and Danielle's fight to all the blogs. Yeah. So I say, well, in my opinion, I think this season is good enough. Like I had a lot of fun watching it. I think that Danielle and Rachel are very good additions to this show. It's really hard to find new cast members. I think that Jen Fessler, when she gets off this Teresa journey that she's on, which I think is very fake and a very bad decision, I think that Jen Fessler could be a great addition to this cast. And then I think that Dolores and Margaret and Melissa are all amazing cast members. Like, why would you sacrifice all of that because Jen and Teresa leaked to the press all the time?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, I don't know who advocates for reboots when the one example we have of that is RHONJ.
Yeah.
That was like the worst case scenario of rebooting something.
Yeah.
So I don't know who would ever advocate for that, but I think that there is something salvageable here.
Yeah. I thought from what it sounded like was going on, this season wasn't as broken as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It kind of just seems like business as usual. Like the fact that Teresa and Melissa aren't really filming together, or when they do, they just don't speak. Right. It's not that distracting really to me.
And they still talk shit about each other. Like,
oh my God, on this episode when she goes, she says, she goes, not like that bitch my brother married.
Yes. And
like,
the way
Jesus.
Teresa talks about Margaret, she's like, I want to take Margaret down with everything in me. Margaret is the root of all evil. So they still are actively hate each other and talk about each other. So it's not distracting. It's like not that they can't be in the same room with each other. I just think that, I don't know. I'm just like, the last resort to me is to just scrap this entire thing because of whatever happened. But Andy made it seem like there's just something that happens in this finale that we will all know as an audience that we can't get past this. And it's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah. I can't imagine that, like, as a producer, dealing with like leaks and like bullshit like that is a nightmare to the point where you're like, you're fucking fired. Like, I hate this. Like, it makes it impossible to put a show together if there's headlines of what's to come and like this manipulation of the storyline in the real world. Like, that's so annoying. Like, I don't understand why these women don't have more of a fear of God in them about that kind of stuff. Like, they need to like put the hammer down the way they also need to about the podcast stuff.
Oh, for sure. If they said no more leaking during seasons, this is proprietary storylines.
Yeah.
Like, do not leak to bloggers. Like, we don't want any storylines out. Like, if they just totally said that's almost a fireable defense, like they did with Robin. Yeah. They basically were like, Robin, you are about to get fired if you ever do something like that again. Like, it would save the show, because I wouldn't want the strength of a show or a great show in a great era to be ruined by behind the scenes garbage that we never see.
Yeah.
And it sounds
Yeah.
like Jersey is being ruined by behind the scenes shit.
Yeah. For some reason, I let it slide with old New York when it was always like Page Six or whatever, because that was almost like part of their culture.
I like that too.
Like Page Six is part of
Yeah.
like New York socialite life.
Yeah.
So it's almost like part of the storyline that they
Yeah.
wanted to be seen on the town and shit like that.
Yeah, that felt a lot different than like
Yeah.
just like DMing Instagram pages to like
Right.
report for you.
Or like
shit.
even like the Lisa Vanderpump radar, even though that was her downfall.
Yeah.
It felt more like that was like integrated. It wasn't just like messy, like slop.
Why would Jen Aiden, if she did leak that story, allegedly, like the minute after that fight happened, she leaks that she was suspended or whatever? Like, why would you want to? What does it do to
Yeah.
like what's the point of leaking a storyline or a big event that happened to you? What's the fun of
It's your,
that?
your name in the headlines, and that you control the narrative. Like you can put out whatever version of it you prefer.
I guess. Yeah. I yeah.
Also, we were talking last week about how they're all on semaglutide, and we were saying how like no one will admit it, and then Jen Aiden was on Watch What Happens Live, like probably the night we were talking, and
Yeah.
was like, I'm not on Ozempic, whatever, everyone keeps accusing me, I'm not on Ozempic, blah, blah, blah. And then she pauses and she goes, I'm on Monjaro. And I was like, that was funny.
Yeah. I laughed.
Andy loved it. I think he hates her, but he laughed at that.
He did.
Yeah.
He gave her a good laugh. Yeah, good. Yeah, so I don't know if we want to get into the like specifics or whatever. I mean,
What
right?
did you think about the violence, so to speak, when you finally saw it?
So I think it was a plastic cup.
Yeah.
So
Like that nice plastic that like
Yeah.
cracks.
So I thought it was remarkable. I don't advocate for violence ever in my life.
Goes without saying.
It does. Good.
Turtle Time is a non-violent
We don't advocate or
pacifist
provoke.
podcast.
Oh, absolutely. We would never spur violence upon the world. I did think that the who pushes
Mm-hmm.
starts the violence. That started the conflict.
It was
Jen
like
pushed
Austin
the shit out of her.
and JT.
Yes. Oh, I remember that fight when JT was spinning on a bar stool around going, look at me, don't punch me. Austin headbutted the shit out of him. You remember that?
Yeah.
He goes, you'll never catch me spinning on this bar stool. I love Southern Charm.
He's like, ooh, tee.
You can't catch me. I miss JT in my
Oh my
life.
God, they're like, Southern Charm should be soon, right?
Yeah, oh my God. I can't wait. God, thank God. But anyway,
Wait, also, sorry, before I forget, I keep getting memories of Stassi's book. She said that when Patrick broke up with her, he broke up with her on their 4th anniversary, and they had
4 years with Patrick?
yeah.
Oh my God.
She had an anniversary trip planned for them, which, like Sex and the City, she took her girlfriends on. Danny Baird
Wait, what's that? What is? Oh, sorry. She took Danny Baird on.
and Rachel O'Brien.
Went to where?
I think it was I want to say it was Mexico, but I was like Southern Charm crossover.
Wait, who's Danny Baird?
She was on Southern Charm for like ever. Remember?
Of course. Right. So they were on the trip when Patrick broke up with Stassi?
He broke up with her, so they were no longer going on the trip together, so she brought
Oh,
friends.
oh, I see. So it's like, I'm so sorry.
but it's like
the
funny
plot
when
of
you
Sex and the City 1.
realize that people from other shows are real life friends.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so great. Well, good. I can't believe she did that.
She also said that one time her and the girls were in wine country, which I wonder if it's the time when Kristen ate shit in that hotel lobby.
And
They were doing dares. And she said that Ariana got a dare to go up to a man and ask to wear his hat. It was like a cowboy hat. And it was John Corbett.
Whoa, who's John Corbett again?
Aiden.
Oh my God, that's my least favorite Carrie boyfriend.
That's
Wait, so where were they? Where were they?
wine country.
Oh my God, like in Solvang. Is that when Kristen eats the flowers and she falls?
Possibly.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. So wow, that's a lot of great crossover stuff.
Yeah, I'll start trying to write down every time something interesting happens, and I'll continue to pepper it in.
Good. Thank you. So you asked what I thought about that physical violence. I thought Jen Aiden was wrong to shove because when someone shoves like that, she was right next to a pool. That was a hard shove. It wasn't just a friendly get out of my face shove. It was a hard shove. And Danielle reflexively had that plastic cup.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a quicker reaction to someone shoving you. It was within less than a second that glass was shattered upon Jen's face.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was a 1-for-1 violent outburst. Definitely within the realm of things we've seen in the Bravo universe, like we were talking about last week. I mean, that was nowhere near the worst I've ever seen. But in this new sort of world, we don't advocate for any violence. But I thought it ended, but it was both of their fault.
Right.
But I was like, I would never have thought like Danielle or Jen would be fired for that interaction.
Yeah.
I wasn't even 100% sure if a suspension was warranted.
Right. Yeah. It's a new world.
Yeah. So anyway, when they were back, I was like, that was fine. It felt like Jen, it definitely shocked Jen completely.
Yeah.
That she got
I know.
that.
She was kind of like stunned afterwards.
Yeah.
So it was interesting seeing her too shocked to speak for once.
Totally. Yeah, and there's a lot of, the worst part of this season is, like we've already talked about, the getting in Teresa's orbit and trying to navigate between the two groups. And the people that are utilizing that storyline are Jen Fessler and Jackie. And almost every scene that revolves around that is very bad, in my opinion.
I feel like
because,
Jackie's fucked.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
She's just like out on a fucking island.
Oh my God, because neither group likes Jackie and neither appreciates her, but they just want the numbers. But Jackie ruined her relationship with Dolores and Margaret, so she can't be on that team. And then Jen and Teresa don't give a shit about Jackie.
She
Teresa
chose
was
the wrong side.
Yes. So now, I mean, Jackie's floundering.
Yeah.
It's actually so bad that I'm like, this is entertaining to watch. I've never seen someone like a friend of flop this hard to where they're like the butt of almost the entire joke of the season.
Yeah. She
And-
keeps just not getting tagged, invited, sent free stuff.
And Jen Fessler is doing the same thing, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't love that, but she's doing it in a much better way. At least she's pretending like she's trying to hear Teresa out while still
she
honoring.
also doesn't really have beef with anybody.
No.
Like, so it doesn't really matter because she's more peripheral anyways.
Yeah.
And she's like newer.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think Danielle is really handling herself well in the Jen Aiden feud, especially like the aftermath of the Jen Aiden feud. Like I think Danielle, like, I didn't enjoy her at all last season because I felt like Teresa and Jen again sort of fucked Danielle's storyline by making her go against like Melissa and like trying to create drama for her.
Yeah.
But this season she's like on her own and she knows like not to trust anybody and just go with the people that are actually friendly and good to you. And now she has this relationship with Rachel that I really like. It's like we're not going against each other. Like I'm learning that you and I are in this together and we actually like each other. And she's forging friendships with, I mean, who else? Like Dolores, Margaret, like,
and she has like broken family, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
No, I think she's a good personality, despite her fugly kids' clothes.
you don't like,
I stand with Jeff Lewis, who called them tacky trash.
yeah. So I just, I feel bad for the cast members that are just coming up now, like Rachel and Danielle and Jen Fessler, who are like starting this New Jersey journey. And that's normally how these franchises should work. It's like you cultivate talent, you hire new people, they grow within that universe. And then you get to the point where Dorinda, who came in like season 7 of RHONJ, feels like as much a part of the legacy of RHONJ forever. You know what I mean? They went within the system, and then now Dorinda is like considered an OG, and you build from that. Just have an organic cast shuffling happen.
I kind of feel like, I don't know if I can articulate this quite, but I feel like the franchise has lost its New Jersey essence.
Yes.
Like watching the old ones, it was so about like Jersey,
I
like
loved it.
family,
When
like
they went to that cabin,
gabagoo, like
yeah, and when they went to that cabin together, remember, they're like firing guns and they're like taking shots of whiskey. All that stuff was great.
Like it was all about family. That was like the core of the show, was like blood is thicker than water, the fallout of that. And then I guess it's because they're all like richer now, or like the aesthetic has just changed and they're just living these more like curated lives, whereas
Yeah.
before it was like they were cooking, they were like,
Yeah.
it was more
And the
like
Wakilis-
natural.
And the Wakilis gave that family energy too. And the
Yeah.
Manzos were like family, and also they had their family. Yeah, it's less
the
about family.
brownstone, like,
Yeah, but then there are glimpses of that. Like I loved Joe Gorga burning the letter in the fire when he gets the letter from
Yeah.
Louis wrote or whatever. I was like, it still has the tragedy of family. Now this
Yeah.
is like a family that has lost their way, and like
Yeah.
you know that eventually maybe they could come back. So yeah, it's like it's a bad ending to the family story. But
feel
I
like,
totally get what you mean.
Danielle has a little bit of that Jersey flavor
Yeah.
that I'm craving. Like,
too.
she's like scrappy and like trying to make, a business, and
Yeah.
like she's kind of like has that like up and comer energy that I kind of like.
I thought she was. I was like laughing at the stuff Danielle was doing. I thought she was so much funnier than I remembered her being.
And her
first
husband
season.
is sweet.
Yeah,
They have like a nice marriage.
I like him too, and I really Rachel. Rachel is she's standoffish because she knows that the people are full of shit. Teresa and Jen. She like knows how horrible they are. So I kind of like that she's not making her storyline about vacillating between these two groups, but she's almost so standoffish that she's like not being highlighted a lot. But I think that Rachel and John are amazing additions to the show too. I mean, John Fuda especially, he fits in well with the boys.
Yeah. I'm pro John Fuda more than Rachel.
I think Rachel has a lot of merit. When she went up against Teresa 4 episodes ago, I was like, this is one of the most powerful things I've ever seen, because no one goes against Teresa anymore. Melissa is done going up against Teresa. So for someone to have that vitriol towards Teresa, it's shocking to watch.
Sure.
So I was proud of Rachel for that.
Yeah. I also was pleasantly surprised. I feel like they've underutilized Melissa's mom. She was pretty funny.
She was having so much fun.
I'm like, when in doubt, bring in the golden generation. Like, they say funny shit.
Yeah, I like that too. But then it kind of got sad.
Yeah.
Melissa was like,
I feel like she was overplaying it a little bit. Like, what's the movie where, what movie is it? It's like, where like all the daughters, is it a Diane Keaton movie where like all of her daughters are like, we're worried about you, mom. Like, you can't live alone anymore.
it's complicated. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, right.
No.
But they are worried about her in that too. But anyway, sorry. It's okay. Diane Keaton, all of her daughters are worried.
But like, yeah, I feel like she was like, I feel like she was just expressing a general concept of having an aging parent. Like, it was a bummer, but I was like, she seems pretty with it to me.
Okay, I was sad
Well,
because
she
was
also
like,
did eat it on the stairs, and then
she did.
like she had like a cast.
Oh right,
before,
yeah, right. She got hurt.
But I enjoyed their dinner, and I thought it was funny.
yeah, me too.
And but yeah, I was just like, I did kind of. I'm glad that it was kind of annoying actually that Jen was questioning the concept of Melissa's fashion show, but I was wondering the same thing, where I'm like, you're having a fashion show for the clothes that you buy from other designers for your store.
Right. Yeah, I get it. I mean,
Which is fine, and that's not even weird. It's like a showcase, but it's funny that she bowed at the end.
like, look at the clothes that I stock, right?
Like, look at what I picked.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I guess, there's so many fake pretenses for events that I actually was like, I like this event, but I get it. It's like, doesn't make any sense.
Do you love, I don't know if you watch a lot of movies from like the 40s, but I feel like almost every one out of like 3 movies you watch from like the 30s or the 40s or the 50s has a department store fashion show where like they used to have like models show the new wares.
Wait.
And then you'd be like, I want that one.
Wait, in what kind of movies?
Like, I'm trying to think, like, I've seen so many movies where a woman goes to a department store and models come out wearing the fashions. I feel like they did on I Love Lucy.
And was it to inspire people to want to go to that department store?
Like, you would place your orders based on them showing you the new stuff that's available.
Oh, it's a scene in movies that has that concept in
Yes.
it. So like I Love Lucy, she'd go and she'd see. Oh,
Yeah.
So that's,
Speaking of Phantom Thread, I think when there's that model in the store that he has sex with in the stock room,
She's
like,
showing off her
look at
outfit.
this cape or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's going only $9.99.
Yeah.
And she's spinning around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm like, let's bring that back.
yeah. Okay. I like that too. So hypothetically, you and I would go to Neiman's
Yeah.
drunk
see
off
what
espresso.
the NV section has.
I would love that. Oh, and then I want to give, I want to say, I think Margaret, to me, for some reason, I don't know why, I sometimes underrate Margaret. And she is, one of the most entertaining humans on earth.
Yeah.
And almost everything she does, I agree with and like. And so she can have the high highs, like emotional, fun, rip-roaring scenes where she sends a text message to Dolores that screenshots Jackie, calling Dolores a fucking slob and I hate her. And I'm like, I've never seen anything like that. A screenshot sent directly to the person that Jackie was talking shit about, right to her face.
Yeah.
That Dolores has to reckon with right there in the moment.
Yeah.
I love that moment. And then the scene with Joe.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is the saddest scene you could
Yeah.
ever see on television.
How do you think they set that up? Do you think they were just like, we know the doctor's going to call between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Let's make sure we're filming. Like, how did they do that?
I really thought that they were having house scenes. They knew that the call was probably coming, but yeah, they were taking too long. And I agree with the philosophy that Joe said, which is like, if it was really bad, they would have called.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, to find out that's not true.
I hope that.
Yeah.
I think it'll be okay.
Me
yeah,
too,
it was
but I'm
super
just
sad because of what happened with her ex already.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen a scene like that. When you watch a real scene, like when you watch Jen say to her dad, I love you so much, thank you for everything, you saved me, you feel the real emotion.
Yeah.
And then you see that real emotion. I'm like, I have not seen this. Someone talking to the doctor, getting that news in real time. It just hits so hard.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I just want to say a shout out to Margaret. It's like, if you fire this cast, you're leaving Margaret on the table. You already got upset that Ryan what's his name? Serhant is leaving to Netflix to start his own franchise. It's the biggest, most watched show on Netflix. Imagine when you release the Margaret talent into the universe.
Yeah.
Keep a lock on this
She
talent.
should be on Traders. That'd be fun.
Margaret could go anywhere. That's why Netflix is sitting outside of Bravo headquarters waiting for Bravo contracts to expire so they can...
Remember when who did she push in the pool?
She pushed...
Danielle, who was it? No.
She pushed a husband.
She goes, your husband's in the pool.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Danielle Staub or no?
Let's see. Who did Margaret? Well, we'll find out. Whose husband Margaret? She goes, your husband's in the fucking pool.
I feel like that was like the first major moment where you're like, that was fucking hilarious.
I also thought about this last night as I was tossing and turning, trying to go to sleep, thinking about how we had to record an episode today. Soggy Flicker is like the best fucking branding of all time. She ethered Siggy Flicker in one fucking moment. Soggy could not come back from that after that.
Miss January 6th.
Oh my
Flicker.
God. She rebranded Soggy Flicker. So I just want to give a shout out to Margaret.
Yeah.
Teresa despises Margaret because Teresa never thought that someone more powerful could come on Jersey. And she laughs at Melissa for trying to become the number one because she knows that forever the audience is divided about her versus Teresa, but most people love Teresa. She doesn't think Melissa will ever get more powerful than her, but Margaret is more powerful than Teresa, so Teresa can't fucking stand her. She's like the future of what Jersey could have been if it didn't have Teresa in it.
Yeah. And she's a little bit different.
Yeah,
She's like a different flavor.
Yeah, so so Teresa's like absolute hatred for Margaret is very interesting to watch still.
Yeah,
it's
not really a fair fight because Margaret can string together a sentence.
Yes. Yeah, so I don't know. We're leaving a lot of fertile ground here. Like this.
This was super bummer. I'm so sad about Frank's dog Lolly.
Oh, of course.
But
so
he
sad.
also kept saying that he was supposed to go to Costa Rica.
Oh.
He called it Costa Rica with an O 5 times.
I feel like, unfortunately, I probably said that this episode, but I understand. Yeah.
And all the boys were like, when's the bachelor party? We need that. And I was like, I want to watch that.
Oh my God, that would be so awesome. If they go to the Bahamas, imagine.
Oh my God. What if
beauty
Juicy Joe was there?
That's what I'm saying. Juicy
Boys trip, like you always said.
Yeah, that would be the highest rated programming in Bravo history. Okay, so what do you say with me? Let's stop Bravo, save New Jersey.
Reboots, you mean?
Absolutely, stop reboots.
Reboots.
Stop reboots, but just I just please like think about the talent you have and just like try anything else. The last solution I have is like I think we could try one season without Teresa. I love her. And I think she's so obviously the face of New Jersey and she's so integral to it. But it sounds like Teresa, most of the issues with this cast and the lawsuits and the Louis shit, all of it kind of stems from the cloud around Teresa. Maybe just give her one break and see if that affects her perspective.
Yeah.
Like she feels like she can't be toppled and that's why she navigates in this world like she can't be stopped. Like try a Teresa-less season before you go.
She's honestly just like not that entertaining anymore.
Yeah. I mean, she wants a spin-off, you know, with her and Louis, just the family life, but I don't think she's going to get that.
Her kids are so brainwashed too. It's like upsetting to watch.
You told me that Gia tried to get in the mess and I was like, oh God, you know, I don't like the idea of that. I liked it even less when I found out what Gia was actually trying to stem up, that John Fuda used her as a reference for 1 second. I was like, God damn, Gia,
like,
please.
Gia, you want your own plot line? Like, we're going to do Jersey Babies spinoff?
For real. Well, but I say save Jersey. Don't reboot it because we know what happens when you do that. You get the worst season of television that anybody has ever seen. And, yeah, so please, let's try to see what we can do. Yeah. There's a lot of options on the table, I think.
Yeah, but that's not our job.
No, our job is to watch it and critique it.
From the comfort of our couch. Right. The people's couch.
Right. Well, good. Well, did 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Pretty good.
I said rebrute.
Rebrute. That means we're done. I am Groot.
I'm Groot too. We talked about a lot of stuff. Long legs, the Garagos boys,
Daddy Long
Legs. This was fun. I like doing them on Thursday night. Thanks for letting me stay at your house at 10 o'clock. And you already said I can sleep on the couch.
Sure.
So maybe on the YouTube you'll see me just fall asleep on the couch.
We'll let it ride.
Oh, let's say what we love at the end.
Okay.
Well, do you want me to? I'll take the first one.
Okay.
First of all, Turtle Time merch. We never advertise this, but if you were ever like sitting in line for Long Legs and you're like, the line is so long to get to this movie, and I already heard Amy say it's bad, and you'd say to your friend, I'd rather be taking a certified turtle piss break than be waiting in line at Long Legs. We have a shirt that says exactly that sentiment. Yeah. And in addition to that, we also have shirts that have a bunch of different Bravo celebrities, their faces all over
Frank
it.
Catania,
if you want to honor Frank. Stassi Schroeder, who talked about.
Yep.
Almost
Wes
a lot
Wilson.
Wes Wilson, a lot of people. So support us that way. Go to the merch shop, and that way you give us money, but you get something in return.
Totally worth it. And then also, if you listen but you'd like to watch, every episode's on YouTube. And then, as you may have heard, we have a Patreon where we're recapping Vanderpump Rules from the very beginning. There's at least, I think, what do we say, like 60 plus episodes in the bank already.
Yes.
We're entering season 5 this week.
Yeah, I think people are still happy with us, our Villa Rosa VIPs.
It's fun over there.
I think it really is. And we say that all the time, and people are like, they're probably lying about their community, but it's true. It's beautiful and wonderful. And there's so much content. If you paid $5 now, you could listen to 65 episodes of you and I
for
talking.
Only $5 a month. For
$5 a month. And then the last thing I'll say, if you enjoyed any moment of this and it brought a smile to your face, or you said, I liked this, please go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you can review a podcast and give us a little review. And even if you didn't like it, I understand why you'd want to write a bad comment. I would prefer if you didn't, because I read every one and it makes me sad and I think about them for the rest of my life. But if you have to, I understand. We have to get hate out somehow.
I was listening to a different podcast, and one of the girls that hosts it just got married like last week, and she said that she got a negative review for the podcast that said, enough about your wedding already.
Oh, that is so sad. See, something
and I was like
that.
It's just par for the course.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. I think about every like, as I close my eyes now, every negative comment we've gotten flashes before my eyes.
Long Legs. It's like,
yeah. Oh my God. Could you imagine if we got a review from Long Legs being like, I'm actually kind of scary.
Oh my God, he's in his little dungeon.
Is he a contemporary villain? Is this
it
modern?
It takes place in the 90s.
That's how they get around the cell phone shit?
They show you Bill Clinton on the wall.
Oh my God, who has a poster?
And then when
Long
they do a
Legs?
flashback, they have a Nixon picture on the wall.
Jeez.
I was like, I get it.
Oh my God, I can't believe he's Perkins' son, Anthony Perkins.
Twerp.
I want to watch Psycho 2. Apparently it's really good.
Who loves that? Scorsese?
I think I heard Tarantino and Eli Roth singing its praises. That it's
Okay.
Underrated.
He's in that. Perkins.
Yeah. Why don't we close out this episode by turning out the lights and you let me watch Psycho 2 on your couch.
Bye.
Bye.
This one's